I'll tell you, this is going to be one of the best football Fridays in recent memory because yours truly covers both teams. We cover the Eagles and we cover the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we're not doing this from 35,000 feet. We're going to give you honest preparation for this Sunday's game between the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. Hey, I'll tell you what. I'm really jacked up about this game. Brady's in the house. It's a Fox #1 game. It should be. It's going to be like the first really true big game of the year. I would say the Ravens and the Bills were the first game of the year that was kind of with significance. This one here in the NFC is also going to be, and I got to hand it to the Eagles here. I mean, Rams last week, they're a contender too. They're still a contender. And now you got the Buccaneers who roll into this game banged up, but again, I'm not sure where you are, but I know kind of who you guys are. So hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. Week 4 of the NFL kicked off last night. And I got to say, the reclamation projects in the NFL are unbelievable nowadays. If it doesn't accentuate organizations letting quarterbacks down, Sam Darnold is one of the poster childs, and so is Baker Mayfield this weekend. John, you're damn right. There's no excuses, and I don't want to hear shit about injuries. It's part of the league. It's part of winning a Super Bowl. Injuries? Okay, reasoning, whatever you want to call it, whatever. You've never heard me in my time talking to all of you here ever said you won that game because that team was hurt. You've never heard me say that. That's part of it, man. If you don't prepare for that, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. Plain and simple. There's no excuses. Hey, you're 1-4 versus the Bucs. Like it or not. Whether Brady's the quarterback, whether Mayfield, whatever. AJ's in, Wirfs is out, Lane's out. I don't care. It has no significance. None. By the way, none in this game on Sunday. One thing, though, about 23-20 last night, Seattle's good. Hey, you want to hear something crazy? You guys played the Rams last week, right? And now you're playing the Bucs down in Tampa. Hey, right after this game, the Bucs have to go fly to Seattle and play them up there. This is a big game for both teams. A big game for both teams. You got Denver on the other side of this too, by the way, right? Denver's not a bad football team. They got one of the best defensive units in the league. That's going to be a cool test. You got that, fortunately, at Lincoln Financial and not having to go up to Denver. Hit the like button. Super chats go to the top. We appreciate you guys. 2-3-0 football teams. They kick it off on Sunday at 1 o'clock. By the way, Chip won to the Buccaneers. You guys are making way too much of the Heat. You make it way too much of the Heat. Now get this. So like Jordan Davis yesterday was in the sauna. You guys were hydrating all week at the beginning of the week. It's counterproductive you jump in the saunas to dehydrate yourselves for a Sunday football game on Thursday. Who's your sports science guy? Whoever is making these decisions is a fucking buffoon. Whoever over at the NovaCare Center is deciding this is a fucking idiot. And the coaching staff for telegraphing it too, you're fucking idiots. I mean, get this. You know where I got that from? Hey guys, if I just read that, I would have went, I don't know if I believe that. So Tim McManus is reporting this. Besides traveling a day early to Tampa, Eagle players are getting an extra sauna time to prepare for the Heat. Jordan Davis said during an interview on Thursday, there's probably like 15 guys sitting in the sauna as we speak. What the fuck are you talking about? Take it from a guy who played in that heat and prepared to play in that heat. If you didn't do your hydrating at the beginning of the week and you're dehydrating yourself by the end of the week, I've never heard of the thing. I have never heard of that in my entire life. Never. Hydrate, dehydrate. You're not prepared for that. It's in your head. And then the coaches telegraph it. That's not a good look, dude. Hit the like button here. All right. Look, that's not going to be the determining factor, I don't think, in the game, but it's clearly something that the Eagles are concerned about. You know why? They're emphasizing it. They're doing it. Nobody else is doing it. Bucks play and practice in that shit. They're going to be prepared for that. The Eagles, in my opinion, are not prepared for the heat. You're concerned about it, and you're ill-prepared for it. And, I mean, Jalen Carter's not in the best shape is right now anyway. Okay, so again, who advised them on that? Look, that's not going to be the tipping point here in this football game. All right, so do me a favor, guys. Give me some scores on what you see for this game on Sunday. I like to do this all the time on a football Friday. Then I'm going to tell you my prediction, and I'm going to give you what I think ends up happening in this game. Give me some scores in this football game. Where do you think this game is going to be? I believe it's 3 points, 3.5. The Eagles are favored going into this game. So Abe's got 34-21 Eagles, 28-20, 38-14, 28-24. Okay. Who else? Big Mike, 35-24, 25-22. And I see somebody with brains here. 28-23. Hey, Xander, can I get Kyle's super chat, please? I just missed it. I see writing the Bench Eagles podcast, 26-24. 27-24 from Angelo. So, Kyle, your super chat. Sills, I've learned working in a dry department where it's usually 80+ degrees. You got to pace yourself or you're going to be out of gas in 3 hours. That's correct. No question about it. Absolutely true. Here's what I see happens in this game, and here's my prediction. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. I think this is going to be a hotly contested football game. Pardon the pun. I think both teams going into this game, there's a lot of pluses, there's a lot of minuses. Now, Tristan Wirfs is playing. Means what? That means two other players go to their natural positions. You get to move the guy who's been out of position to right guard, his normal position, left guard, and you get to move Graham Barton back to center, where he's going to be taking on Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. And Wirfs is going to be out on his left side. Charlie Heck will play the right tackle position. They miss Cody Mock, who's lost for the year, no doubt about it. When intact, that group's one of the better units in the NFL, and they probably have the second best bookend tackles in pro football next to the Eagles with Luke Edeke and with Tristan Wirfs. There's an advantage here for the Bucks because your edge rushers are not very good. They're just not very good. And now that you've lost Nolan, you were in need of an edge heading into this game before Nolan Smith. So you're not very good at the edge. You're very good up front at the tackle position and interior. That's why Graham is being put back inside. All that being said, you've given up 135 yards a game. That makes you your 24th against the run. You're not playing well against the run. It's not the tackle positions, it's the edge. They can't set the edge. Okay, so the Eagles go into this with Jalix Hunt and Zadarius Smith, Those are your edges. And with Josh Uche as a backup, I'll take that matchup all day long. That's not very good. I mean, and I probably think that they're going to put Darius Smith because of what the weather's going to be. And by the way, it's supposed to be rainy and humid on Sunday at 1 o'clock. So they're probably going to put him on a pitch count. Now, follow me through here on this. I think the Buccaneers, again, are going to be able to move the ball. Bucky Irvin and White are good running backs. You've not done well stopping the run. The key is going to be, I think, Baker Mayfield continuing to move the chains with his legs. Here's the problem. Just so you know, Baker Mayfield hasn't practiced the last 2 weeks, or excuse me, the last 2 days. Why? He got hit in that Houston game in his bicep, and they have kept him out precautionary reasons because they know he's taken a load of hits. I'm telling you, man, Jalen Hurts has taken a shitload of hits. Mayfield's taken more. I saw him coming out of that Houston game. He was walking like he was a 65-year-old man. He took a pounding in that game. And he's doing something that he hasn't done in his career. Instead of throwing the ball into tight coverages, he's taking off and he's running. But it's doing it at a cost, and that's his health. He's a banged-up quarterback heading into this football game. So if I'm Vic Fangio, I want to put a hat on this guy as many times as I can make. Every time that guy get as many hats rallying to the ball and hit that guy and tenderize that guy by the fourth quarter, he is really banged up heading into this game. He's taking a shitload of hits because he's not throwing the ball into tight windows. He's moving the chains the same way that Patrick Mahomes did in that Chiefs-Eagle game. Now, I think they're going to do this in this game too. I think they're going to take a little bit of what happened in that Chiefs game, and I do believe that Vic is going to blitz Mayfield a lot in this game. Here's why. If you don't have Mike Evans, who commands the double teams, that means Emeka Egbuka has got to take those double teams on. You know, he's a first-year player. He's learning how to fight through double teams. He's learning how to get free and get off the line of scrimmage. And the quarterback that has held the ball the least in the entire 3 weeks of the league has been Baker Mayfield. He's number 2. Why? Because the O-line has been musical chairs. So I think Vic Ibuka's good. Sterling Shepard, the old giant guy, I don't know. I don't respect that. No disrespect to him, but that guy's not moving the chains on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring pressure, and I've got to get to Mayfield. I don't want Mayfield sitting back and having developing routes to get back to my secondary to find a Dory Jackson and that shitty play of Reed Blankenship. Vic's got to blitz more because you know why? You've got one sack in the first 3 games. You're one of the worst pass rushing teams in the league. You haven't got home. Okay? I mean, and the pressure's been limited. Every quarterback has sat back there and has had a high completion percentage. Every single one of them. They've been able. However, you haven't gotten home. And if you let these quarterbacks find Reed Blankenship and Adoree Jackson, and you let those routes develop, I think you're going to be in trouble. So to me, I think Vic's going to do exactly what he did, a little bit, not as much, because they have a better running game. They got Bucky Irvin who can catch the ball, so you're not going to bring as much pressure that you did in the KC game. So you got to be sporadic and pick your moments when you're going to do this. So again, this is going to be a chess game here. So I think Vic's going to bring the pressure. If the Buccaneers are going to move the sticks, okay, if they're going to move the sticks, it's on Baker Mayfield's wheels because he's the guy that's not going to be defended. Okay? They've got good backs. They've got really good backs. White, and Irving can play, and you get 3 dudes in the initial offensive line back to their normal spots. My question, conditioning-wise, with Tristan Wirfs, what kind of shape is he in? Now, he was full practice yesterday. So he went full practice. I think Chris Godwin now is going to be a game-time decision. I hear he's playing. But again, how effective? He really hasn't had any training camp, mini camp, OTAs since the Ravens game a year ago. How much is he really going to be available in this game against the Eagles on Sunday? I think it's limited. 15 to 20 plays. It'd be hard pressed for me to think that he's going to play north of 35 plays. I just don't believe it. Okay? I don't. Now, on the other side, Kevin Patullo versus Todd Bowles is scary. What's your excuse for your offense not hitting on all cylinders? You got one guy out, Mekhi Becton. Why aren't you not playing? I still think the Philadelphia Eagles are finding themselves. I do, as a unit here, and I think Kevin Patullo, and by the way, I think the Eagles and Kevin Patullo are still struggling to find out and get on the same page. A.J. Brown has mentioned it all week long, that they're not communicating. The players are over here. He's over here. Why? Because it's a mentality. You're not changing in who you are. Why would you? You're going to do everything you've done for the last 20 ball games. You're not changing because of 2 quarters and because of desperation. That's not going to be it. Now, the Bucs secondary, in my opinion, especially at the corner positions, remember something. Jason Light, the general manager of the Bucs, they came back and they looked at Jamel Dean and said, we want you to take a $9 million pay cut. Because he was coming off a bad year. He had a pick 6 return a week ago against the Jets. They're not really great at the corner position. This Benjamin Morrison kid looks like he's going to be good. Winfield is playing out of his mind. He's a second-rated safety in pro football. He is a good football player. Okay, so the question for me is Hassan Reddick going to get home? You know, outside of that Atlanta game, this guy's been Casper the Ghost. Remember how I used to say this? Hey, that guy's face should be on a milk carton. Well, his face is on a milk carton the last 2 weeks. Atlanta, he was good. Now, I haven't seen him in 8 quarters. And without Kalijah Kancey in the middle, I don't know where you're going to generate the pass rush. Here's the secret to the game. But again, you don't utilize it. If you look at the worst pass defensive linebacking core in pro football, you know who it is? It's one of them is the Bucs. They struggle at defending the middle of the field with their backers. Well, you don't throw to the middle. This is Dallas Goedert game. Dallas Goedert should have 7 catches for 125 yards. And this game would be 39-10. But they don't do that. They're going to win their way. The Bucs struggle at defending tight ends. They struggle at it. Okay? Their linebackers are not very good at coverage. They're great against the run. They're 6th when it comes to run defense because they have that horse in the middle, Vita Vea. Okay? I mean, I happen to agree with this. Father Time has caught up with him. This is his 15th year. I mean, he's been a great player, and he's going to knock on the door for the Hall of Fame. But he can't cover a linebacker. He can't cover a tight end right now. They struggle with this in covering a tight end. Now, for me, this is a Dallas Goedert game. But they're not going to go there. That's not their mentality. They're going to come into this ball game, and they're going to try to establish the run because everything they do is based off of the run game. Everything. They catch themselves with their pants down because they don't have a versatile play caller. He doesn't have the creativity. And by the way, Kevin Patullo versus Todd Bowles is a fucking joke. It's a joke. Bowles is a really good coach. He's a Super Bowl. By the way, he's got a Super Bowl ring the same way that Vic Fangio does as a coordinator. He was the D coordinator in Tampa when Bruce Arians won the Super Bowl. He was the coordinator. So he's got a ring too. Okay? I mean, this guy's one of the better coordinators in pro football. And he brings that pressure. He disguises it. Jalen Hurts has absolutely struggled with Todd Bowles' way of blitzing. I think they're going to blitz internally, and I think they're going to bring safety pressure from the outside. I do. Now, the key will be this for me, the key is going to be the health of the O-line. Lane Johnson going into this football game, in my opinion, okay, his health, if that's me and I am Todd Bowles, I'm going to bring pressure on Lane, and I want to move his feet. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to move his feet. Now, one last thing here before I give you my prediction. One last thing here. I will say this. Because you guys complaining about the heat, and because you're talking about the heat, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run stretch plays at you. And what I'm going to do also is I am going to make sure the number one thing that I do to that football team is I'm going to go up-tempo. And I heard that they are going up-tempo in this football game against the Philadelphia Eagle defense. They're going to find out what kind of conditioning that you guys are in. Right away, they're going to find out the conditioning, okay? Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button here, and I appreciate you guys. Steve, Sills, Evans being out also means that Vic can cheat the safety up and have a wide side to help protect against the stretch run, except to see Coop up close to the line of scrimmage and to help. You got Eagles 17-13, okay? Here, let's go here. Senor, won't the Bucs get tired in the first half? Why would the Bucs get tired in the first half? They practice in it, they live in it, they play in it. Why would the Bucs get tired? Why would the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get tired playing in the first half? Why would they get tired? Senor, help me out here. Why would the Bucs get tired in that heat down in Florida? They practice and play in it every day. You're suggesting you're in better shape than them? We're going to find out. Okay? What? Hang on, what? They don't practice running up tempo the whole game. Dude, they're in better shape than you. They live in it. They practice in it. End of story. The problem with the Eagle offense is that Sirianni, Patullo in the front office got their head up their tail while they run at their strength. Absolutely. I mean, seriously, dude. Bucs run up tempo every play. I would. I'm in better shape than you. You're fucking crying about it in Philly all week. You guys are moaning about it. Sitting in saunas. Even Baker Mayfield goofed on you. Bro, whatever. We'll find out Sunday. All right. Here's my prediction. Because Mike Evans is out, and because you guys are concerned about the heat so much, I've got the Eagles 28-26 on Sunday. I think I just think that your will and how you've won games until the Bucs prove to me that they can beat a team like you right now, because one thing is for sure here, guys. Let's do this with the Buccaneers here. This is a come to Jesus game for them. This is a football game that they have to figure out if they're real or not. Okay? Of course you see a blowout. You haven't blown anybody out, John. How could you see a blowout? John, where in your right mind, okay? Where in your right mind do you see a blowout when they haven't blown anybody out, including the Cowboys. You barely beat them, and the Giants went for 500 yards on you. Well, then I'll tell you what. If you guys think the Bucs are overrated, then so are you. Okay? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Of course you see a blowout, M. Reyes. Who have you fucking blown out this year? You haven't blown one team out. As a matter of fact, the Rams were kicking your ass. They were kicking your ass. But hey, it's a blowout. Yeah, okay. You guys haven't had one game where you played 4 quarters, but you guys see a blowout. Okay? You guys don't see a blowout. Shut up! Thank you. All right. Guys, I appreciate you guys very much. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. Thank you again. All right. So I got 28-26. And I think they end up winning this football game. Now, they've got to turn around. Now, I would make this point to you. Okay? If Mike Evans was playing, I would pick the Bucs. But he's not. I'm taking the Eagles in this game. 20. I said it this morning on the Tampa show too. Yeah, that's right, Steve. Because you've blown everyone out. You've blown everyone out. You've played poor football. How about this? You've played 2 quarters of football this year, in my opinion. 2 quarters of football. And you're blowing teams out. And you guys are already, get this. Hey, John, and you're fucking more worried about the Heat than you are the Bucs. I got the Bucs because Todd Bowles' defense. Shit. Well, they're 4-1 against you. And Baker Mayfield has a winning record versus you. Hey, Travis, why is that? Why are the Bucs 4-1 in the Sirianni era? Why are the Bucs 4-1? They kicked the shit out of you. Why? Okay, I mean, why? No. Not did, they do. So they're 4-1 versus Jalen also, right? AJ's always hurt. Excuse one. Excuse one. These games don't matter. Okay? The Rams are irrelevant right now. Stay on focus. Why are the Bucs 4-1? Okay? Why? Why are they 4-1? What do you think? Dude, day late, $1 short. Has nothing to do with our conversation. Injuries. Excuse 2. Excuse 2. Give me another one. Give me another excuse. You guys are going to sit here and make fucking excuses up on why you got beat? Those are excuses. This is the National Football League. Okay? Steve! This is the National Football League. Okay? The Heat? The Heat. Okay? Jesus Christ. Kim! Holy cow. All right. Guys, do me a favor. Why are they 4-1? I'm with you, man. Jesus criminy. It's completely obnoxious. Yes, I am. Now I am. Steve! All right. Why are they 4-1? Why? Bowles. Okay? Bowles. Okay? Actually, he is. Actually, he is. Styles make fights. This is a great take right here. Styles make fights. Mismatches are mismatches. The Buck players and schemes are mismatches for the Eagles. Correct. That's the best take so far. Okay? Absolutely. Sills, they're 4-1 because Hurts can't make the read at the line to attack the middle. That is another spectacular take. Okay? Another day, I'll tell you. See, hey, Bob, repost that. Bob just hit on it because Hurts doesn't throw to the middle of the field. That's why they're 4-1. And Bowles knows that. I talked to Todd Bowles about Jalen Hurts. And you want to know what he says about him? Bob, here. I talked to Todd Bowles last night. Sills, they are 4-1 because Hurts can't read at the line to attack the middle. We don't adjust. Todd knows this. This is why he's successful in getting to Hurts and why he's 4-1 and he's 3-1 against Jalen. Is because they don't throw to the middle of the field and Styles make fights. Mismatches are mismatches. The Bucs players and schemes are mismatches for the Eagles. Absolutely true. Sills, where'd you get the name Stevie from? I don't know. He's a good name. He's a good doggy, man. We love him. Hey, 4-1 is because they don't threaten the middle of the field. And that's why they blitz. Their linebackers don't feel the threat of the tight end threatening the linebackers. I told you earlier, one of the key mismatches in this game is Dallas Goedert versus Levante David. Levante David and those guys. Absolutely true. They don't let Hurts threaten the middle. If they let Hurts have a Dallas, like if Dallas Goedert had more throws and more targets in this game, I do think they win convincingly. But they won't. Sills, I agree that Bowles will bring Winfield off the edge with late blitzes. Winfield walks up towards the line before the blitzes make sense to rip this. That's right, the seam. When he cheats, that's right, perfect hot read. And they don't throw across the middle because what is that? That's the counter to a blitz off the edge. Absolutely. Jalen Hurts struggles versus the Bucs. You're playing them Sunday. Those other games have no bearing on Sunday. He's lost 1 in the last 20. Funny. I mean, they're 4-1 versus you guys in the Sirianni era. You're playing them Sunday. I'm not talking about the Bengals or the Rams or the Cowboys. We're talking about 1 o'clock Sunday. Steve, what the fuck does that have to do with Sunday? 19-1 has nothing to do with Sunday. Nothing. How are the Eagles going to rush for 200 yards when you've been outrushed pretty much in every game so far this year? This is what happens. He's a good doggy, man. I shouldn't holler at him. I love him. He's a good puppy. I don't believe they're going to change. What games are we watching? Are we wearing the Kelly Green? I don't think the Bucs are wearing the creamsicles in this game. I don't. So if injuries are excuses, why will an injured Buck receiver flip your prediction? Well, because he's not available on Sunday. And I don't believe that not having Mike Evans out there, they're going to win. There's no excuses. They've got to go win. I mean, if Mike Evans were to play, I think they'd win. I'm not giving it an excuse. If they get beat fairly, they get beat fairly. I mean, you don't hear excuses out of me. I won't say this. Well, if the Bucs win, it's because their old line and some of the Cansey's gone and Evans is gone. You won the game. Fair and square. Fair and square. Fair and square. Injuries are part of this conversation, my friends. I don't know how you don't think that. You guys think because, listen, you hear people say this. Well, we would have been okay if we had our guys. Fuck that. Fuck that. Hey, nobody was saying that shit last year when you guys lost Jordan Mailata for 4 weeks, or Lane for 2 weeks, or Devontae Smith lost 3 games, and AJ Brown lost 3 games. You guys manned up and figured it out, and you were able to go out and win, lose some games, still win the Super Bowl. No excuses. Absolutely no excuses. New team, new year has nothing to do with a 4-run record. Then your 19-1 has nothing to do with it either. Fair enough. I'll take that. Yeah. 4-1 has nothing to do. 19-1 then has nothing to do. Seals, you attack the blitz left open. You throw it right you throw it right wherever you identify where the blitz is coming from. You're right. You throw into the blitz. Okay? So, football, there's no excuses. Now, look, you can have poor coaching. You can have poor coaching decisions. Okay? Cosmo, that's a really great take. Every week is a different, everybody's 1-0 or 0-0. You're right. Okay? 0-0. Well, then 4-1 is a trend. You see what this guy does? 19-1 is a trend. Well, let me ask you, Steve. Is 4-1 a trend? Yes or no? That's right, bud. Reddit can be run on. So according to Steve, he's going to throw 19-1 as a trend. Well, is 4-1 versus you a trend? Yes or no? Watch this. No. All right, Steve. Yes, unfortunately. All right. You're holding to your guns. Hey, Steve. All kidding aside, I do think that 19-1 is a trend. It's the heart of a champion. I do think so. Heard Mayfield has an injured bicep. He does. He was held out of practice the last 2 weeks. My question, how much that affects his throwing motion? And should the D-line hit that arm every chance they get? I would. Absolutely true. They've held him out of practice the last 2 days. So don't be shocked if you see a little Teddy Bridgewater in that game. And boy, if you see a little Teddy Bridgewater in that game, you know the Mayfield injury that he got in Houston is a little bit more significant than the Bucs are leading on. I think he's hurt. And I think he's hurt because he's been tenderized. Dude, he got killed in that Atlanta game. And he got destroyed in that Houston game. I mean, he really got whacked in that Houston game. Not so much in the Jets game. But he got killed in those first 2 ball games. What's an Ertz TD pass to Goddard to pass over the middle? A little bit on the top of the zone. Hey, Coolco, how many times have you seen that play in the last 2 years? 3? I'd like to see more of that. I think that's the key to Bowles' blitzing, is that they don't threaten the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're right. I think Jalen is pissed off at the game plan. I think A.J. Brown is pissed off at the game plan. Smitty's not going to say shit. I think those 2 guys are frustrated. Hey, by the way, when A.J. points out that so listen to this. Here's your boy Patullo. I got to tell you, man, this is the first week John and I are on different sides here with this. So John's trying to tell you this, that it's not coaching with Kevin Patullo. Who's responsible for getting the play in on time? Who's responsible for adjusting in game? quarterback and the play caller. You know what I heard? Jalen Hurts audible 30% of the time in the second half. Has anybody else heard that? He audibled 30% of the time in the second half, which meant what? The plays came in, Jalen called a different play. He audibled out of it. For every 10 plays that was brought into the second half, Jalen audibled out of it. There was like 32% audibles in the second half compared to the first half. What do you think that is? He didn't like what the first half brought, and he started changing plays. That's a great sign. He's fighting the coaches back. That's not going to work, man. We got to go here. And he audibled in the pass plays. This is the first time I've heard this stuff. I had to, I checked around and I heard it was over 30%. In the second half, Jalen audibled. Which meant this. Think about that. Every 10 plays that were brought in the second half, Hurts said no to 30% of them. Yeah, no. Almost half. That's how they got back in it. Because I told you, Hurts is one of the smartest quarterbacks in the league. They didn't like. Here, figure this out. So the play's not getting in on time. He's getting to the line of scrimmage with 5 seconds. That advantage defense. Then what else? They're not adjusting in time. According to A.J. Brown, when things aren't working, we're not adjusting quick enough. That's inexperience at the play calling. That's inexperience on getting the play in. That's inexperience because the quarterback then has to figure out when he gets to the line of scrimmage, this isn't the play that's working. Hut, you're down to 3 seconds before you snap the ball. The thing is out of sequence. The communication, it's not a smooth operation right now. That's their problem. It's self-inflicted because you hired a training wheels coordinator. For the life of me, I don't know. One thing that Kellen brought to the table, whatever you thought of him last year, he's an experienced play caller. He knew to get the play in on time, to give the quarterback more options. Don't you feel if you get the play in on time, that gives the quarterback more options. You get the play in later, and the quarterback has to look for where the blitzes are coming from. And by the way, this is what they're doing to Jalen. Totally. This is what they're doing to Jalen. The play's getting in too late. The D coordinator sees that, right? They're trying to show you, and they're masking where the blitzing is coming from. What did they blitz last week that I heard? 70% of the time on Jalen? So you don't know. The play's in late. You got to figure out where the blitz is coming from. Hut, how are you calling audibles? You got to figure out where you're getting killed. And it's been a problem. It's not a clean operation. The Eagle problems, yeah, Landon, Lane, Cam Jurgens not playing great. All that's true. Yes. Yes. Still, you're so good. You're beating good teams because you really have exceptional players. You've got exceptional players with a below exceptional offensive game plan. That's why the games have been close. You're winning in spite of your coaching. I don't care how anybody sees it. Think about it. Okay, the Buccaneers have an excuse. Do you not agree? Let's just use the word excuse. The Bucs O-line is decimated. They're just getting back worse now. And they're going to be able to put 2 other guys back. It's still in shambles. Right tackle's gone. Right guard's gone. The entire right side of the offensive line of the Bucs is not the same, right? Okay. You kind of see it. Now Evans is out. This is for conversation here. I kind of know why they're up and down. Why are you? Why are you guys up and down? I mean, why are you up and down? Why is your offense helter-skelter? What's the reasoning? If John says the 4-1 record, the reason is because of personnel, then why are you wobbling around offensively? You got the same people back. You got the same people back. Goddard's back. Receivers are back. Running backs back. Becton's the only guy not back. And you're telling me you're up and down and every single team that you've played had the ball in their hands to win it in the last possession. Every one of them. No need to force anything in the first 4 games. That was the deal. 4 games to get right. 4 games to get right? Where, in what game do you think you played a complete 60 minutes of football? Get this, folks. You see what Emirates did? The players and the coaches complained all week about where they are. Not him. He doesn't see the game like the players and the coaches do. I don't know what he's talking about. That's not anything those guys talked about all week. Nothing. Get right? That didn't sound like AJ saying about getting right. That had nothing to do with it. Sills, one thing I see defense doing against Jalen is timing his cadence and the play clock down. Get this. They're able to get to the cadence and to kind of go on first sound or second sound, because the longer you get down to, and the play comes in, and you get to the line of scrimmage at 6 seconds, okay? You don't have a lot of time. You've got to look for protection. Do me a favor. Watch the game on Sunday. Keep an eye on this. When does Jalen get to the line of scrimmage? At what time? Is it 10, 12? How many times did Brady used to get to the line of scrimmage with 13, 14 seconds left? Sometimes I've seen him get to the line with 20. You get Brady to the line of scrimmage with 20 seconds, he's going to complete that pass 80% of the time, because he's going to find where the hole is in the secondary. You don't know where the hole is in the secondary with 6 seconds, 10 seconds when you get to the line of scrimmage. The play is not coming in. See this here with Abe? The play's always under 10 seconds. You can barely find where the pressure's coming from. They're really great with up-tempo. Hurts is really good. Hurts is special when he's up-tempo. You guys went up-tempo on the Ravens. You went up-tempo on the Steelers. It really put the game away. I mean, when you do that, you're excellent when he does that. You think the Eagles should bring Brian Dable in if fired? No. Brian Dable? Here's why. James, why do you think they won't bring a guy like Brian Dable in to be the offensive coordinator in Philly? Why would you think that wouldn't be a possibility? Or any experienced coordinator? Rival? No. And what does autonomy mean? That has nothing to do with it. Oh, you're going to give me a great player? Because when you bring a guy in like that, he's going to want to bring his own people in, which means he's going to want to bring his own mentality in and his own philosophy on how to move the sticks. The Eagles are not tolerating that. That's why they hired a guy who was fired twice, Kellen Moore. He was perfect for him. Kellen Moore is either going to be back to being a quarterback coach or a head football coach in the NFL. Dude, he'd been fired from Dallas. And at the end of the day, I mean, he just was released from the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh. We defending a play or win or scoring a play? Pick. We defending a play or win on scoring a play? Rich, hook me up what that means. I'm not sure, man. Sorry, I'm slow on that. Spinning what, douchebag? The issues with the Eagles going up tempo is that the OC has to think quickly and get plays registered in Patullo's head fast enough to deliver back-to-back calls without delay. Hey, Senor, don't you think that also is this? When you go up tempo, you put the hands of the game, or you put the game in the hands of the quarterback and not the coaches. They lose control there, right? Isn't it funny? Every time they go up tempo, the Eagles look great. Because I think it's more the decision-making that Jalen has. Don't you agree, Senor? They lose control of the direction of the offense when they go up tempo. And Jalen has more control of the offense. It's funny, when Jalen has more control of the offense and he's audibling like he did in the second half, the team moves better. I mean, it just moves better here. Rich is asking if you would rather have the Eagles have the ball last trying to score to win, or give Baker the ball and the Eagles D has to have a stop. Great question. Baker Mayfield has done something for the first time in the merger era since 1970. He has won 3 games with less than a minute left in scoring drives. He has been a gamer. I mean it. He's been an absolute gamer the last 3 weeks. And I'll tell you, they found ways. They got back in the game. They gave up a special teams gap. By the way, their special teams are terrible. The Bucs special teams are terrible. They've had issues the last 3 weeks. That's advantage Eagles. Terrible special teams. Might see another blocked field goal in this game. I mean, right? I mean, to answer this question, I think if the game is in both guys' hands, both are capable of winning it. But because you have AJ and Devontae, and they don't have Mike Evans, I'd rather have Jalen have the ball to win a game. Because I don't think the Bucs have enough talent on that side to win the game. So I would take Hurts to win the game. If it comes down to last possession and they had to score to win, Hurts is going to get it done. I don't know if Mayfield gets it done. He's done it the last 3 weeks, though. But they're inferior opponents to what you guys have played. Seals, late to the line might also be why Barkley has his head on a swivel when it's not getting the ball. You're talking about in pass protection and not knowing where the blitzes are coming from. He has been terrible at pass protection so far this year. Terrible. Okay? What the fuck are you talking about? Be relevant and say what I'm spinning. Dude, what are you talking about? You say shit and you have no context to it. Put it out there. Let's see what I'm spinning. Fucking idiot. I mean, dude. What are you talking about? What spinning shit around here on Fridays? What are you talking about? M. Reyes' bullshit takes? If you're going to say that I'm spinning something, have context. Sills, I would attack the Bucs linebackers with slants and AJ and Goddard. The Bucs linebackers are terrible. in pass coverage. They're just terrible. You're right. Again, you're right. All that shit, you're right, Senor. Senor's my boy here. Okay? Sills, playing Tampa is perfect setup for Jalen and AJ to freelance. Play AJ in the slot and attack Winfield and David. I wouldn't attack Winfield. Winfield is the second rated safety in pro football right now. Okay? Did the Eagles sign or bring players up from the practice squad to replace their injured players like Nolan? I'll get more on that when Xander comes on at the bottom of the hour at 3:30 Eastern time, okay? Good. I want Crosses and Goddard over. Dude, I'm thinking right now that Goddard, if they really want to make this game a no game, you get Goddard in this game, and I don't think the Buccaneers have a linebacker that can cover the guy. Dude, they're two linebackers. Let me get their people. Let me get their – hey, by the way, I told Todd Bowles, and we were texting back and forth. I told Todd, I don't think you have a linebacker that can cover Goddard. He goes, well, they don't go to him. I go, yeah, well, I agree. They don't go to him. So, yeah, man, that dude struggles at pass protection. Or excuse me, he struggles in pass coverage. I mean, it's a complete mismatch. Sills, would you like Davis in the middle and Carter on the edge? No. Well, but remember something, Joe. That means he's got to run more if he's going to play out there on the edge. Like in old Milton Williams' spot, the end. That means he's got to run more. It'll be good to have AJ and Smitty and Lane this year versus our situation without them last year. Sure. Seals, working for the ops this weekend. What do you mean? Hurts always throws to Goddard. He does? He always throws to Goddard. Well, let's take a look at that. He always throws to Goddard. Is that what you're saying? So let's see how many targets Dallas Goedert's got. He's missed time. He's played in 2 games. In 2 games, he's got 8 receptions. 4 catches. That's not terrible. 77 yards, and then he's missed a game. And, of course, he's been banged up. But, I mean, let's see what Dallas Goedert has had in his career. When you look at the receptions that he's had in his career, they've never really been. He's never been a 70 catch guy, has he? No, here. 58, 46, 56, 55, 59, 42. I mean, dude. These tight ends today have over 100 catches. He has half the numbers that any tight end in today's NFL. He's got half the numbers. And he's a good player. False? I just read you his numbers. He needs to get more involved. I think that's more to do with Nick. Seals, did you notice Vic putting Carter the five technique a few times this year? Thoughts on that? Yeah, because Moro Jomo's not giving you what you need. He's not replaced Milton Williams. Moro Ajomo, the more reps Moro Ajomo gets, the less productive he would be. I warned you guys on this. Many people believe that if you get the starting job, you think that because you saw a guy in a limited role have some production and be productive, that common sense would tell you they're going to have more stats and more tackles and sacks. That's not the case. The more reps you have, the less production you traditionally have. Until you get your body worked up into knowing how to play 70 to 90% of the plays. I mean, because you play more, look at what happened with Bryce Huff. You see what they're doing in San Francisco? They're limiting him and putting him in positions where, and Robert Saleh knows how to use him. That guy's not going to see over 500 snaps. They're going to put him around 450, 435, somewhere in there, and he's going to be overly productive there. The Eagles were trying to put that guy in an 800 snap count. That guy was never going to be productive here. The system doesn't fit him. You've got to set the edge here. And hey, Bryce Huff having success in San Francisco, that's because he fits Robert Saleh's technique. Here, the edge rushers have to set the edge. Then if you're a pass rusher, great. The pass rusher is the cherry on top of the cake. If you can't set the edge in Philly, you can't play. Seals, you really need to do a Game Time live stream. It would be fun watching a game with you and get your takes real time. Yeah, I've heard that a lot, man. I told these people Hunt ain't it. Now, I think there's something there with Hunt, though. I did, but I never thought he was going to replace Josh Sweat. Then again, I never thought Nolan Smith would. Nolan Smith's a good football player. He's proven he is. But he hasn't proven me wrong on this. I don't believe he's a healthy guy. He's just not built for the league. Or how about this? He's not built for every down football. I think you've got to specialize him. When he comes back, he can't be your starting edge. He'll be in the same position he was again. Being hurt, shoulder, bicep, what have you. Okay? Right? Sills, make sure you watch Carter between plays holding his arm. I've seen this. There's a nagging injury there. I'll concede that. That's not an excuse. It's part of the game. I got it. Guys are always hurt like that. I'd rather watch you, Sue. Thank you. Appreciate that. Seals, if you attack Winfield, he can't blitz. Okay? Tell you what, he's playing great football again. And listen, Anton Winfield is a fucking great player. You have nothing like him. I would say this. He's probably the second best safety in football next to Kyle Hamilton. You're going to be playing against the best. Here, Vita Vea is probably, as a nose, third best nose. Winfield's the second best safety. And I would throw this at you too here. If you go back and you look at, you guys asked me a question on their corners. On their corners where they are. Let's see here. On their corners. Dean had a good game. They made him take an $8 million pay cut. All right. And McCollum, I don't think they're great. I don't. And this Benjamin Morrison kid, I think they want him to eventually take the starting job. But I don't think he's ready yet. Off topic, OU on game day being in Tallahassee in 2 weeks. Canes in FSU, baby. And by the way, there's a report that Lee Corsel's showing up. He went to school at FSU. It's true. They're going to be in Gainesville. I think game day is in, I think it's in Happy Valley this week, right? I think it's Penn State, Oregon. I think it's at Penn State. Hey, what do you think? What's the over under that game day doesn't mention Paterno or Paternoville? What do you think the over under is? That they won't mention Paterno. Well, I bring that up all the time too. Joe Paterno built Penn State. James Franklin is a tool as a coach. He's terrible. They don't bring Joe Paterno up. They never bring Joe Pa up. Game Day doesn't bring that shit up, man. Dude, told you before, Joe Paterno is one of the most important college football coaches in the history of football. No getting around it. Okay? No getting around it. I'll tell you something, Lamar. Joe Paterno was terrible for the decisions that he made by allowing Jerry Sandusky on the property and in the premises and in the locker room, for sure. He wasn't the sexual predator. Let's always remember that. Good afternoon, Big Seals. Can you explain what it means to set the edge? Very good. Okay. I will show you what that means. Okay. DT, and I'll go over to 43. DT, edge, OT, OT. I should get a board like Seth has. The bottom one's the offense. The top one's the defense. Okay? The objective for an offensive tackle, especially if you're going to run stretch plays, you want to get to the outside shoulder of the edge rusher. And then you want to condense them down. Why? Because Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter can't pursue down the line. They're boxed in. You want to know why you're getting a shitload of run game? They're running in the seam because they're getting on your outside shoulder. And they're pushing you down, and you're causing Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis not to have lateral pursuit. It's affecting your linebackers too, because why? They're getting walled in. And if they're too close to the line of scrimmage, they're caught in traffic. I think Vic's told them to back up like this a little more so that they can have free reign and run to the ball a little better. Because when they were playing up on the ball a year ago, they were right off their asses. And they were getting good push, but your edges were being set great. And everything flowed well. Milton and Josh set the edges so great last year. And I think you're now starting to see their importance, aren't you? Okay? Are you not seeing their importance? Remember when you said these guys were just average players? You're trying to replace these guys with 7, 8 guys, and you haven't. Do you understand what I'm telling you now? How great those guys set the edge a year ago? Okay? So, I mean, you had great line movement. Everything was on the line of scrimmage. It was because those guys were not allowing outside shoulder penetration, and they couldn't get out and make those runs off tackle. They're making that happen now. And you're walling down the defensive tackles, and they're getting caught in traffic in here. That's why you're having 135 yards a game on you now. It's because those ends are not very good. To John McMullen's credit, he said it the entire offseason on Birds 365. If you're going to go into the games with those dudes and you handle any kind of significant injury like Nolan Smith, listen what you're going into the game with this week. A dude you signed 14 days ago, Zadarius Smith, Joshua Uche, and Jalix Hunt. Those are your edge rushers. That's a massive advantage to the Bucs. Dude, they're going to run, and if Worse is in any kind of shape, Jalix Hunt versus the 6th best player in the league, not 6th best lineman, the 6th best player in the league, he's going to fucking annihilate him. Dude, Tristan Wirfs is the best offensive lineman the Bucs have ever had in history. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's considered the best tackle in football. He's been all pro at guard, right tackle, and left tackle. Nobody has done that. This guy's a fucking beast. I mean, he's a tremendous ball player. Jalix Hunt on him. Now, to Jalix Hunt's credit, he practices against Lane. So he'll be prepped for that. When you go against Lane every single day, that will help you. Make no mistake about it. Dude, Lane and Tristan Wirfs, Trent Williams 2 years ago, the guy in Baltimore, the guy who just got hurt with the Chargers, those guys are elite fucking ball players. Totally elite ball players. Okay? Yeah, Penei Sewell. How he dropped the ball, folks. I don't think he's had a very good offseason. Here. Let me take that back. Let me wait and see. It's too early. But you have not replaced those players. I kept harping on it. You kept telling me they were. You have not. Dude, you haven't replaced Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. Remember what I told you? What was the key to those two guys? You never had to come off the field. You could put them in a 5 front. You could put them in a 7. You could line them in a wide 9. Put them in a 34. You could put them in dime, nickel. It didn't matter. They never came out and they set the edge and they were so fucking versatile. I mean, they never came out of the game. Look at their snap count a year ago. I mean, they were spectacular. Okay? Seals, this game feels like a must-win game for us. If the Commanders drop the game this week, we should be up 2 wins in our division. And from what I'm understanding, Jaden Daniels is not going. Are we starting to see RG3 too? Whew, man. Marcus Mariota again? And who they play? Washington this week. Who does Washington have this week? They've got Atlanta. And I don't know if Penix is going. So, by the way, we will have with us today our friend Mike North. You guys like this guy. And we love him. A Chicago legend and a great football guy and a great sports guy. And we love talking with him. So Mike North is going to join us. That'll be at 4:30. And also Godfather, as always, will join us at 5:30. Xander's going to join us in a couple minutes. When I saw Wirfs jump out of the pool and land on both feet, I know he was waist high. Dude, he's a state champion Iowa wrestler. He went to school at the University of Iowa. I just think he's the best offensive tackle in pro football. I mean, he's a special player. That's a special player. I think he's better than Penei Sewell. The only reason he's better than Lane right now is because Lane's in his 14th, 15th year. Lane a few years ago, probably not. But Lane's going, hey, by the way, Lane and him, well, Lane's going to Pro Football Hall of Fame. Lane's going to the Hall of Fame. Wirfs is the best lineman in football right now. He is. I mean, he's probably the 6th best player in the game. What did they have Tristan Wirfs ranked? Where did they rank him in the top 100 players? Top 100 players. Tristan Wirfs. What did they have him ranked? He's 28th. He was ranked 28th. Were there any other linemen ranked ahead of him? He was 28th in the top 30 NFL football players. Just a great player. Seals, ask Mike about Chicago having a quarterback. You know what? I think they got more. I thought he played well last week. Okay, I did. I thought he played well. Seals, they don't give the big guys enough credit. Dude, Jordan Mailata is such a great football player too. Listen, I don't want you guys to sit there and go like this and think that I'm dismissing Jordan Mailata. Mulata's one of the truly great football players in the league, too. Just a fucking great player. Tremendous respect for the guy. Sewell is great and talented, but he's not aggressive enough for me to be ahead of Lane or worse. Not terrible, Dime. Not terrible. I'll tell you what, they ran the hell out of that ball against the Ravens, though, did they not? I thought Penei Sewell had a great football game against the Ravens front. Seals, don't you like Washington for the division? I do. JD5 not playing again. He keeps running. NFL will break him like the twig. Just the facts. RG3 2.0. I agree. Does Vita Vea win against Steen? Any day, any night, I'm taking Vita Vea versus Tyler Steen. And I'm taking him over Cam Jurgens. Cam Jurgens is not going to nullify Vita Vea. That ain't happening. Okay? I'm surprised you didn't have flex game yet. Bucks and Eagles, best game of the week. I know it's a 105 game. Brady's in the building, though, for it. Okay? Our Super Bowls were based off our O-line. How we understood. It's always, and it starts in the trenches. Yes. 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 Look, you're just not playing well in the O-line. It is a 1 o'clock game, Lamar. Yes, it's a 1 o'clock game. Absolutely. Now, Baker Mayfield, heading into this football game versus the Buck defense. What do you guys make of Baker Mayfield? What do you think of Baker coming in? What do you guys think of Baker? Gamer. Dog. I think he reminds me more of Hurts. Dangerous. Guy's clutch. I'm glad to see the respect you guys have. Super competitor. Wow. Coming from Philly fans, it's quite a compliment. This is quite a compliment. Excuse me for clicking that on. We tried to write them on let's see here. Underrated. Baker's that guy. Let me give you my take on him. I think Senor. Wow. Really? Really? Well, I mean, he did lead the Browns to a playoff. And I don't see the Browns going to too many playoffs. And, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's not been on very good teams. That I wouldn't go. Here, let me give you my take on Baker. And I've said this to people in the Bucs organization. So let me ask you something here. Baker Mayfield makes $30 million a year. Let me ask you something. Okay? Let's go here. Baker Mayfield makes $30 million a year. Highest paid NFL quarterbacks. Here they are. Okay. You think Baker Mayfield's better than Dak Prescott? You think he's better than Dak? Yes or no? Well, Dak's the highest paid quarterback in the league at 60. So we would immediately say this about Baker then. He's underpaid. Even if you say equal, he's undervalued. Right? Okay. Here's the second highest paid guy. Jordan Love. You think he's better than Jordan Love? Yes or no? Love makes $55 million. Is Mayfield better than Love? Okay, so the first and second highest paid quarterbacks. Okay. You think he's better than Tagovailoa at 53? Think he's better? Tagovailoa makes $53 million, and he is the third highest paid player. Clearly. Okay. Do you think he's better than Brock Purdy? Mayfield. I'm going to make a point here. Okay. He's better than Brock Purdy. All right. So obviously, I don't believe he's better than Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. I don't think he's better than Jared Goff. And then there's Jalen Hurts. So Jalen Hurts and Baker Mayfield, 5 or 6. So Mayfield's either the 5th or 6th best quarterback in pro football right now. And he makes $30 million. He's underrated. He's the most underrated quarterback. Hurts is underappreciated. Hurts isn't underrated. Okay? He's not underrated. He's underappreciated. Maybe Baker's underappreciated as well. Oh, I mean, look, Baker's better than, well, then we're talking about the 5th or 6th best quarterback in pro football then. A game like this on Sunday, he beats Hurts and the Eagles. You know he's eligible for a contract extension at the end of the year. And the Bucs have to determine whether or not to sign that guy to an extension. What are you paying him? What would you pay what would you pay Baker Mayfield? What would you pay him? Based off the people that I told you, excluding Burrow, Allen, Hurts, and Lamar. 32 a year? When those other guys are making 55 and 60? The fuck are you talking about, dude? He makes that now. 45? He's 3-1 against you dudes. He's turned the Bucs into a contender. I mean, 50 a year? 10 less than Dak? What's Dak done? More than Mayfield. You're going to offer a guy who's outplayed 6 of the top 10 highest paid players in the game, and you're going to offer him 40? That guy's a $55 to $60 million a year guy. You just gave Kirk Cousins $50 million, and he's a backup in Atlanta. Hey, you may not want to give it to him. What are the Bucs' options? Kyle Trask? $45 million max. Bro, you're out of your mind. That guy's going to get an excess of $55 to $60 million. You're out of your fucking tree. And by the way, like I said, he beats the Eagles on Sunday. Hey, and by the way, you know what they just did, the Bucs and Jason Light? They just guaranteed his $30 million for next year, trying to send him an olive branch. Mayfield deserves 55. Yeah. Baker Mayfield is the most underrated quarterback in pro football right now. Hurts is the most underappreciated quarterback in pro football. And they meet on Sunday. And what's crazy about it, they both played at OU. And, I mean, these are guys that different paths. Nobody thought Jalen Hurts was ever going to be a passer in this league. Nobody. Okay? I agree. I think this guy's a... Hey, by the way, I love the fact when he talks shit to Gardner Johnson. I love the fact that he's talking shit at all times now. Dude, I thought he was a punk. Sills, it's the guaranteed dollars. Baker is $30 million a year. I'd give him 3 years, 4 years at 50, fully guaranteed. Dude, he's a $55 million. Get this. A.J. Brown makes more than him. Devontae Smith almost makes as much as him. Jalen Carter's going to make more than him. And he's the quarterback of a team that in the last, what is it? Every year he's been there, he's been in the playoffs. He competes. He's got a lot of Jalen Hurts in him. But the only thing is that he talks more shit and Jalen doesn't. Evans breaking down Baker will need a new number one. Hey, Rich, Mike Evans has been in the league 13 years or 11 years, 11, 12 years. Breaking down? Well, that's what happens with a 30-plus-year-old receiver. And that's why they got Emeka Egbuka. They went out and got that kid, and they thought Evans not being in that game is enormous because double teams now are going to be going over to Egbuka. And I don't know. Godwin, I'm told, will play. But he's been hurt since the Ravens game of a year ago. And he really hasn't had OTAs, minicamp, training camp. I mean, he just hasn't had it. Super chats will be read at the end of this segment. Don't forget, Mike North will join us at 4:30. Our friend Philly Godfather will join us at 5:30. It is a football Friday. By the way, this is going to be a hell of a football game on Sunday. I mean, the Eagles already are behind the eight ball a little bit, and they're like ways about handling and talking about this Heat thing. It's ridiculous. Go play fucking football, like Jalen said. It's funny. Jalen had the right answer. Yeah, hey, Jalen, what do you think about the Heat? Go be Heat. Let me go play some ball. All right. Without further ado, and I gave you my prediction, 28-26, Eagles. I think you guys go into this football game. I think you're just a little above this team right now. 28-26. I think you got deficiencies, and I think they got deficiencies. Without further ado, let's go to our man from Birds 365, Big C, Xander Kraus.
What's up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
I'm looking forward to this game on Sunday, dude.
Me too, my friend. Me too. Good football on the docket. Good game. Two good teams. Love your conversation about Baker Mayfield. I think he's going to get more money than even you were just saying there. I think, look, I mean, you got Tua Tagovailoa making $53 million. I mean, in my eyes, Baker Mayfield's probably pretty easily a top 10 quarterback right
That's
now
right.
with the way
That's
he's
right.
been playing, and the way he's kind of willed himself into success in this Tampa offense. But I love the player. I love the mentality. So maybe I'm biased toward him, but I think he deserves it for sure. But great conversation. Two great teams, man. Two well-coached teams. I was thinking about that real quick, and I'd like to actually talk with you about this. Not that I don't want to program your show for you, but I was thinking about that last night. And I'm like, look, Nick ain't my favorite coach. I'm not going to lie. Like, he's not my favorite personality when it comes to a coach, but I don't think you get the 19-1, man, without a well-coached football team. At its core, right? Like, you have a sloppy football team, not a well-coached team. You're taking flags, all the different things that a poorly coached team does would never get the 19-1. So I do think Nick kind of deserves some credit for the way this team has handled themselves getting to 19-1.
So do you think that this same coaching staff could go down to Miami and win 11 games?
Well, shit, obviously the talent factors in a little bit here in Philly. But I think, it's almost like if the talent's good for 14 out of the last 19, a good coaching staff will get you to 19. A bad coaching staff will slow you down to 11. I don't know. Like, there's almost like it's probably a good rebuttal.
I think coaching matters more in the NFL.
It does. I almost sometimes I think John's a little unfair about it. Like, I get it. Players matter more, but just to insinuate that a coach, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like coaching matters more in football than.
Well, you're falling into the 19-1 line then again.
Certainly matters more. Coaching certainly matters more than hockey. Coaching, I would say, certainly matters more than basketball in football.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I think you could probably make an argument pretty easily that it's more important than baseball. I mean, you got a manager I know who has to make crucial decisions, but shit, you got that and more with a football coach. I think it's the most important coach in all professional sports.
I think the catcher's more responsible for how a team plays in a baseball game than how even a manager, because he handles the pitching and he handles the defense per at bat. The catcher is responsible a lot on how a baseball team is looked.
Absolutely.
So then you're subscribing then to the 19-1 being an organizational thing.
Well, look, I understand that we have an organization that has a rare combination of things right now. A general manager who's been clicking on all cylinders, a roster that has been built for the long haul with the trenches and the way they're built, the skill. Like, I understand all those factors. Obviously, they all go into the 19-1. But my point about the coaching was just like, I don't think you get to that point if you don't have at least a coach who knows what they're doing or has your team on the rails or has your team going in the right direction, bought in for a common goal and for a common purpose. So, and also discipline. I know they've had their moments of lack of discipline, but I think overall this team has been so committed to the vision that they have, that deserves some credit as well. But, it is organizational. Like I just said about, different sports, you need all those things in football. Like, you could have a great coach. Bill Belichick couldn't win a game when Tom Brady left. He could barely. I don't know what their record was when he left. Barely 500.
It wasn't.
So it's like football is the sport. It's one of my favorite things about football. You could have a quarterback or a player, and obviously there's a sliding scale for who impacts the game more, but it's the ultimate. It's not just a cliche. It's really the ultimate team game where you need 22 men on both sides of the football fighting for the same purpose, the same goal, and does their job individually to the best of their abilities.
And very rarely do you match it up.
Exactly. Very rarely do you match it up. It's the most beautiful thing about football. It's stimulating both physically and mentally because of the way that it's, there's a lot to consume. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of different things happening on the field. So kind of an appreciation for football right now, but, I'm excited for this game, man. It's going to be great.
I think Vic Fangio is the best defensive coordinator since Buddy Ryan in this team, and that includes Jim Johnson. I am sold 100%, and I'm going to go with John on this one, that he's the best coordinator in pro football, and that includes Spags. Bro, the chicken shit he's turning into chicken soup again, and those numbers are all going to straighten out. They're a little low, but you know what? They're 3-0. They're making it happen. That edge fucking room is atrocious heading into this game. Now, before I get ahead of that, I want to hear your prediction. I got 28-26
Yeah, we're
Eagles
close.
in this game. What do you see happening on Sunday at 105?
I think I said 27-24 this morning, or 27. What did I say, guys? 27-23, right? 27-24. Somewhere. Let's put 27-24. I think the Eagles are going to be ahead in the game. But my score gets close because I believe Baker Mayfield will not let them get beat by 2 scores. Like I believe I like
keep it close.
Exactly. Late in the game, they might be down 2 scores and it might not look that close, but Baker wills them at 10 points in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. I think Baker has that ability. It's one of my favorite parts about him. But I think the Eagles win the game. I do. I just think they're the better team right now. I think they're better in the trenches. I think, now you could maybe argue that a little bit, but I do think the Eagles are going to take advantage of some of the injuries that the that the Bucks have. And we just talked about the team game. There is only one great equalizer in football. There's only one. It's injuries, man.
Absolutely.
You can have the greatest roster in the world, the greatest coaching staff, the greatest quarterback. You get a couple injuries in the wrong spots, man, your whole game plan can get blown to shreds. So, they just have some big injuries right now that I think are real hard to overcome.
Here's how I put it out. I went, because Wirfs now gets put back in his normal position of left tackle, you're going to be able to put 2 other guys back in their traditional positions in the offensive line.
Right.
Cody Mock is out for the year. So, again, that's a huge loss for them. With him, they're probably the 3rd or 4th best O-line in pro football, and it's probably the best offensive line that they've ever had in Tampa Bay. That being said, I don't believe that your edges are good enough against the run. I think they have struggled mightily. You needed an edge going into this game. Now you don't have one of your premier edge guys in Nolan Smith. You got a guy you had 14 days ago who's now a member of the Eagles. And then you have the project of Jalen Hunt, and you're going to count on Joshua Uche. So your edges in this game are Smith, Hunt, and Uche. I'll take the Bucks in that one. Or if you want, I'll take a push in that one, because that's not an advantage for Philly. Now, I do think this. You're going to have to try to get the ball moving on the ground if you're Tampa. They've got Bucky Irvin. They've got White. They're good ball players, but they're going to try to threaten the edges. They're not going to go up the middle and bang their heads against Jordan.
Yeah, but isn't Bucky Irvin kind of the perfect back for that?
Yeah, but why do I want to throw him right into the meat of your defense where your strength is in your 2 tackles? I want to go off tackle.
Well, yeah, run him to the outside a little bit.
And because I don't have Mike Evans, I'm going to throw the ball more to them in space. So I'm going to try to create some outside, because what? You play zone, right?
Yeah, I think weirdly that kind of plays to the Bucks' advantage in this game. Just in the sense of the Bucks want to run, and the Eagles are a little bit lesser against the run, because that's just not it's really not the system of their defense.
It's not them, though. It's not the tackles. It's the edges that are killing them. I'll tell you the kick. You know what the biggest mismatch is in this game? It's Goddard on the backers. Tampa Bay is one of the worst pass defending linebacking team. Levante David, as much as I'd love the player, bro, 15th year. Where are we going? You know what I mean? I mean, we're talking about an aged player here who is struggling at defending the pass. I'd want to get Goddard going across the middle. But once again, Xander, we go back to the conversation. They don't throw across the middle of the field. That's not their mentality. They don't threaten the middle. They're going to go to the numbers. And again, that helps the Bucks because they don't throw across the middle of the field. Somebody brought up Goddard had a touchdown catch this year. And I'm like, yeah, how many times have you seen that in the last 20 games? 4? I go, that's not a common thing that they do. So to me, AJ versus that secondary, I don't really think their corners are great. I think their safeties are good, but I don't think their corners are good. Winfield's the second best safety in pro football right now. I just don't think their corners. Now, a week ago, Jamal Dean had a pick 6. He took it back. That's the second. They've only had 2 turnovers. The Bucks defense has only had 2. They got them last week. Not really a turnover machine team. The defense has struggled. In my opinion, man, your offensive coach versus Todd Bowles. I don't know. That don't sound like a win for me. Okay, because again, what was the biggest complaint that they had all week? Is that they don't adjust and the play doesn't come in on time. Now, I heard John say that that's not coaching. I mean, that's the player. You mean to tell me adjusting and the player went 30% audible in the second half? He countered the coach's
well, dude, if that's player too, then what does the coach do? If the quarterback's responsible for getting a play in on time, which it's not true.
It's not.
I don't know what he meant by that. I should have followed up on that. I don't know what he meant, like, because I heard him too. I heard him say it. You know,
you're getting to the line of scrimmage with 6 seconds.
That's what I mean.
Brady used to get to the line of scrimmage.
Jalen's probably already thinking too about, reading pre-snap reading. You know what I mean? That's one of the most important things that he's doing right now. If I'm Kevin, my utmost priority should be not only the play call in, but the play in as early as possible, so Jalen can get to the line and read. I don't know. That's something to keep an eye on. I don't think it's on Jalen though. I was surprised to hear John say that.
The Bucs special teams is terrible. It's terrible.
Really?
They've struggled mightily, man, the last 3 weeks, and I think the Eagles are really good. Michael Clay,
like in what way?
Blocked field goal. They gave up that in the Jets game against the Texans. They gave up another special teams on punt return. They dropped one and put it on the ground. In the Atlanta game, they had a special teams gaff. All 3 games, they've had a miscue on their special teams.
Yeah, and we've been good on special teams.
And you've been excellent on special teams. All for that guy's crazy kickoff in the Rams. I don't know, kicking the knuckleball.
Well, that was pretty bad, honestly. It's worth mentioning because that guy, we couldn't field a kickoff to save our lives last week.
What's your biggest concern going in
to the game?
Yes.
I think just like the element of the Bucs game. Like I don't feel like they're better than us. I don't feel like they're positioned better than us, but the Bucs just seem to play us well. It's like sometimes the Commanders. That's how it used to be even when they were shitty. Sam Howell took us to double overtime. It's one of those things I think in this game where you kind of just have that feeling of like, man, it's the Bucs. Like we always play them close for some reason. They always play us well. In fact, for the last 5 years, I think we can all say, yeah, we're 1-4 against them. So that's where that feeling comes from. But that's really it. I mean, you look at that. I think their run defense is going to be really good. So I don't know if Saquon's going to get going again. I think offensively, what's the approach for the Eagles and what does conservative look like this week? You know what I mean? Is that running again? How are they going to manage that? Hassan Reddick coming in. I wonder what he's thinking coming into this game. Does he hate the Eagles? Does he like the Eagles? Does he not? Does he look back on it with bad blood? Is he feeling like he needs some revenge? Is he saying, I want to make Howie look like an idiot and go get 2 sacks? Like, I think Hassan Reddick is a fun storyline in the game. But I think just coming off of last week, you don't like last week was like the tale of you got the lows and you got the highs, especially offensively. So it's like, where do they steady the water this week? What does that thing look like? How consistent are they? And how do they come out and attack? That's probably my number one thing coming into the game, just coming off of last week.
I want to give you a little bit that ESP just posted here about Saquon Barkley. A lot of players this week have been stressing the need to be more aggressive. And Saquon was asked the question, and he basically came out, and I'll paraphrase it here, and said, yeah, man, we just have to be better at communicating, and we got to be better at adjusting. Bro, there's subtle shots at the coordinator. Or do you think it's subtle shots at the quarterback or both?
I think it could be at the philosophy because I really don't know if it's Kevin. I'm not sure. Like I agree with you where it does sound like a subtle shot to a certain extent, and you got to put it on somebody. Like who's the shot at? But I don't know. Does AJ think Kevin Petullo is dumb, or does he think Kevin Petullo's in a seatbelt? Well, in a seatbelt.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't step outside. You can't do, you know what I mean? Like you're locked into what we're doing here on offense. And this is how you can, this is the limits to your creativity because we want to play within these confines, because these are the parameters that we've set that leads us to win games. They've been right about those parameters, but those parameters can still be limiting in certain regards. So I think that's where the coordinator might be limited. And I don't know. I mean, you'd have to ask AJ, and I don't know if he would give you it, although he's great in press conferences. I like listening to AJ. But I don't know. I think it could be at like just the approach, coming into the game. This is what you want to do. All right, I get we want to do that, but let's not completely castrate our offense, for lack of a better word. You want to stay aggressive. You want to remain the dominant force multiplier on the field. That's what you've assembled this offense to be.
Okay, well then, where would that decision come from? My point would be, is it from the front office? Is it from Nick?
John says Nick. I don't know if I believe him.
So let me get this. You go to your boss. I thought this is what Doug went to those meetings for on Mondays, on why that they were only scoring limited points, that he had to go to the owner and he had to go to the general manager on why they were beating Atlanta 17-14. And that was one of the reasons why he had the bitches, because it wasn't explosive enough. And now you're telling me Nick is limiting them? And
I don't know, maybe.
It's counter to what they said to Doug.
I mean, you know how many emails I get? Yo, janitor, why do you let that asshole Sileo hate on our Eagles? I'm like, hey, I hired a man to do a job. I let him do the job. You know what I mean? So I get it. Maybe people assume that that's the way people go, but I don't know. Do you think it's Nick? Do you think it's the organization?
No, I think it's a collective thing. I think it's collective. I think it's Howie, Nick, and that's why the personnel's picked the way it is. I mean,
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think when Howie makes a move and fires a guy and then hires a guy, you think he consoles with Nick? Because every time I hear Vic talk, Vic goes, yeah, the guy showed up and there he is.
Yeah, see, like, it's interesting to think about that, because you would think that obviously Howie is the final say on personnel. That makes sense, right? The general manager who's had a good career and obviously has 2 Super Bowls, like, he's going to have personnel.
Absolutely.
Right, exactly. So, like, he's earned that, and that's what he has. But at the same time, when you trade a player like Thomas Booker, or when you make moves on the personnel side, like, don't you think for example, yes, Howie, you can make the decision, but doesn't it just make logical business sense to talk to the person that's going to deploy the guy you're acquiring for the football team? Like, I would say, all right, Vic, we have this trade in mind.
But he learned that because of Rager. I don't want to hear your opinion on a player. I'm going to make the decision. I'll never be caught like that ever again on a coach making decisions.
You think it's more like, Vic, what player do you need? What type of player? And then I'll go pick the player.
That's right. And I'll pick the player. Give me a profile, because look, Vic's not going to sit around and watch college kid. He's not going to sit around and watch free agent. Right now, he's getting ready for the Bucks. How he's going to go, what kind of player do you need? I need an edge setter. I need a guy who could drop in coverage. Vic doesn't have a name on the back of the jersey. Howie's the one that finds the name on the back of the jersey. This is the guy here. He identifies that guy. That's why all of a sudden you're like, this fucking guy shows up and he's in my building. Jacorian Bennett. I have no idea who the fuck he was. He talks about a Dory Jackson. He goes, yeah, there he was. And, I think that's how he handles it. And if you're a coach, I don't know if that's that bad an idea, because you know why? I'm looking for a prototype. I'm not looking for a name, because that's where you get in trouble. Yeah, Bryce Huff did. Howie screwed up on Bryce Huff for one reason. What was that? He just didn't fit.
Yeah,
he didn't fit with Doug.
He bought into the flash sacks. Exactly.
Right, he didn't flash sacks. He couldn't set the edge. Now, guess what? He's in a role with Robert Saleh, just pass rushing. He fits that role. Howie thought he could convert him into a 3-down guy. Well, that's not working. Right? That's not working.
No, I agree.
He's 7th right now.
Bryce Huff's got 2 sacks already this year, I think. Let me look. He's got 2 sacks, 9 tackles, and a forced fumble.
Wow.
I think he's one of the highest graded edge rushers on PFF, too. I
wonder what a snap count is. If they're situationally playing him, or if he's got a high snap count. Because last year they were trying to turn him into a 3-down guy. Boy, could that guy help right now. Holy shit. Now, but then again, he can't set the edge. He was a liability here a year ago.
Bryce Huff's number 5 ranked edge rusher in football right now, behind Micah Parsons, Aiden Hutchinson, and Myles Garrett. 4th ranked.
And
Fifth,
the
if you
number
include Latu. Wow, good year for Latu.
hey, so wait a minute. So and the number one safety is Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah.
So
Now, to be fair to this conversation, I don't think Bryce ever would have worked here. Like, I don't think I'm not saying that with like we should have kept Bryce. I'm just saying it shows you how you can get a player to play when you put them in the right role that's built around their skill set. I mean, shit, Sills, just to bring up you as an example again, we had a guy on this program who said they put you at the wrong position and stifled your professional football career.
President of the team.
Yes. I mean, it's a big thing, you know, and back in the day when there was less opportunity, you know, you had to make most of your opportunity or you were cooked. You know, that's what happened to you. At least that's how Rich McKay described it.
Right. That's right.
So, you know, it's a big thing getting a guy in the right in the right role for him and what they do well. So, you know, Zadarius Smith certainly looks like he fits that role.
I heard John say that they're going to put him on a snap count.
Well, you hear him say he's like, oh, yeah, I know he's going to be good right now, but how long is he going to hold up? I'm like, does he know something? I don't know what he meant. I'm like, he's not that old. How old is Zadarius Smith?
31. I believe 31, 32.
33.
Okay.
But he just turned 33. Remember, like 20 days ago when he got signed.
Man.
I don't know, man. I watched Brandon Graham play like really good football till 35, 36 years old. Like Brandon Graham was like a good football player. Like not an Eagle good, like by objective measures, Brandon Graham was a good football player last year.
Hey, man, this is going to be stupid, but you get another fucking significant injury to that. I don't know, man. I might call BG up and say, is there anything left in the gas can? How you feeling?
I hear you. And I would.
Hey, I mean, right? I mean, Xander, because where are you going to get somebody that could come in and play, know the system? And I don't know, again, what kind of shape he's in. I have no idea. And it was kind of a forced retirement anyway. So, I mean, right? And now you're
like
limited.
I feel like BG's got more in the tank. But
you're telling me he couldn't be a role player for you?
I don't know. It all depends. Like, how's he been approaching the summer? You know, like has he been working? I don't know. Like if you
with you. He's
even like a couple people don't understand. Like even a couple weeks out of the gym, like 2 weeks will set you back. 3 weeks, like you know what I mean. So you really got to stay at it. And I don't know if he has or not. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna speculate it right now. But I tell you what, the edge rusher room is thin right now.
It is really accentuated here. Do you
now Joshua Uche has been graded out really well. Now that doesn't mean he does anything. You know, and he's been good as the 4 because he's not asked to set the edge at all. He's asked to go rush the passer. So if he's going to have to play more, I would assume that grade will come way down, and I don't know how competent he'll be in that regard.
Do you think they start the game like the second half? Or do you think that they're going to evolve into that second half again in this Buck game?
Yeah, that's kind of my biggest question. Like, what is the approach? You know, John keeps telling me, they're going to continue to stick with their guns. And look, I get it. I get why at the same time where it's like, all right, you know, they're 19-1. They keep winning. I understand. But I hope they come out a little more aggressive. Just because I think you have to.
What way?
Just attack. Just attack. It doesn't mean I need you to throw the ball. Just attack. Be aggressive. Don't play soft. If you have a 3rd and 17, I don't want to see an inside zone.
Inside zone.
Oh my God, I hate that play so much.
And they run that fucker a lot.
The injury report came out.
Let's hear it.
Doubtful. The only person doubtful right now is Adoree. So it might be Keely Ringo. Doubtful. Not questionable. Doubtfuls.
Who's starting then?
Keely. So did not practice today. No, that was Wednesday. Thursday's limited. No, Fridays. Limited was Adoree. Doubtful. They listed his game status as doubtful. Full practices today for Bond, Campbell, Lane Johnson, Tanner McKee. He's back. And Will Shipley.
Keely Ringo starting at corner.
Yeah, I'm not that worried about it because Adoree hasn't been good.
Oh, hey, no harm, no foul. Right?
All right. Just hear me out for a second. You have a look of worry on your face.
I do.
Yeah, for Keely Ringo. Like, if we had Adoree Jackson coming into the game, would you be like, Hey, all right, there you're good at corner too. You
I don't
wouldn't.
think the expression changes.
Yeah, you'd be like Baker Mayfield's going to torment Adore. All right, well now you might torment Keely. At least we got a 23-year-old player who might learn a thing or two.
Wow, Keely Ringo and
Keely was talking with confidence in the locker room yesterday. I kind of respect it because it's not easy to fend off all the media. You know what I mean? Especially when you're talked about to be the starter and then you fall on your face a little bit. So I kind of respect the Ringo comments. And I'm not sure if you saw them, but the Ringo comments. He basically said, "There's nothing I can say to you. I'm going to go. I got to show you. I got to show you on the field." That's what it comes down to. You know, I thought he was good though.
Are you concerned about all this attention on the weather? I mean, of all things, here. And
it's a little weird. But, nah, I'm not worried.
Okay, so Tim McManus posted this. Besides traveling a day earlier to Tampa, Eagle players are getting an extra sauna time to prepare for the heat. Even Baker Mayfield ripped this. Jordan Davis said during his interview yesterday, there's probably 15 to 20 guys sitting in the sauna as he spoke. I mean, dude, you're the fucking Eagles. You're the heavyweight champion of the world. What are you worried about? You're the heavyweight champion of the world. That don't sound, hey, you know what, man? It's really hot down there. Fuck, we got to really think about getting down there early. So let me come out of my routine and fucking go down. I mean, bro, I got half the battle won. If you're worried about the weather, I'm not worried about the weather. I'm worried about A.J. Brown.
Right.
You're worried about the weather. I'm worried about the fucking player that's one of the top 3 guys in the league. You guys are dicking around with something else that's not football related.
I mean, I will say this. I know it's hot and everything, but correct me if I'm wrong here, and I don't think I am. Like, September football happens in Florida every year. Yeah. Like, I know it's hot, but, like, it's not like we have this, like, even by Florida standards, it's extra hot. Like, it's Florida weather in September. No. You know, that they play there. University of Florida plays there. The University of Miami plays there. Florida State University plays there. And a litany of other schools play there.
Bucks, Jags, Dolphins all play there.
Right.
I mean, dude, I don't get it either. I
get it. I know. Believe me. I know it's hot. I do. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I'm talking to a guy on a show right now who played Saturday games in August.
And Sunday games in August and September. And also, I played professional games in September and college games in September.
Yeah. College games kick off in August sometimes.
Hey, right. Get this. This just in. It's fucking hot.
Right. I kind of hear you. I think the rain, apparently it might rain, but, you know, Rich, you're down there, Rich, so you know. I mean, Florida rain is so hard to predict.
But listen, 55%. Okay, so this means it'll be humid and there'll be more humidity.
Yeah, but will that help cool them or no? Will it have a reverse effect?
It will help. It will help the coolness.
Only if it's consistent. If it puddles
it's overcast.
If it rains for 10 minutes, it spits on you for 10 minutes.
Oh my God. You know this because you go down to Naples.
Yeah.
Listen to this, folks. This is what I used to hate. So we get ready to go out, Zaner, to practice at Miami. So about 2:45 every single day, we get ready to go out, and like 2:50, fucking torrential downpour comes, and you're like this, cools it off. Xander, all of a sudden, Moses comes out and does this, and he parts the sky, and that heat vent gets turned on, and you're like this, oh my God. And you walk out there, and you're like, hey, Jason Kelsey said it perfectly. When you're younger, you tolerate it. When you're older, you remember it. Okay? You remember it. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay? Because he said it's brutal. It is brutal.
That makes sense. Yeah, no, it's brutal. It's definitely going to be a factor. But I do kind of agree with you. Like, they've given it a lot of life.
They've given it a lot of life. They surely have.
They're letting that thing grow a little bit. All right. It's like they're like watering a seed that you don't need to water.
I want to ask you about Mayfield. So Baker Mayfield is making $30 million a year, and he's got a game on Sunday that would absolutely put him up there. And the Buccaneers have sent some tea leaves out. They fully guaranteed, which they didn't have to.
Yeah,
he's 2026. Okay.
That doesn't cut it for me. Baker Mayfield, that's probably the best value contract in all of football.
All of football. He's undervalued. Okay. Hurts is underappreciated. I would say that Baker Mayfield is the most underpaid quarterback in the NFL. How do you like this matchup going into this game, Mayfield and Hurts? Do you see a lot of similarities?
Well, I see there are obviously different styles of player, but I do see similarities from kind of the approach, the story. Baker was obviously a number 1 overall pick, but, at every level he has had to fight and claw. He went to college.
Remember, he walked on at Texas Tech.
Walked on at Texas Tech, exactly. Transferred to Oklahoma. Obviously had a tremendous career at Oklahoma. Amazing career at Oklahoma.
Heisman.
But again, started, having to prove himself. Same thing. First overall pick, you know what I mean? Gets there, though, and boom, immediately humbled. Now, you could make an argument the Browns just made a bad decision. He led the Browns to the playoffs.
He did.
That was coming off the era. Like, the Browns organization still sucks, but they've stabled out a little bit since the Baker draft. People remember, before that Baker draft, that's when everybody was showing all the jerseys that the Browns had of like the 30 different quarterbacks listed.
Right.
It was a catastrophe. And then you draft Baker Mayfield. Yeah, he might not have looked as perfect as you wanted him to look, but he led you to the playoffs and you're the Browns. And then you cut bait with him because you want Deshaun Watson. I don't know. They made a lot of bad decisions there. I love Baker Mayfield's story. I think he's a fighter. I like people who fight. I like people who don't let themselves tap out when they're kicked down to the surface. Fight. I know it sucks right now, and I think Baker embodies that, and I love that. So I like him a lot, and I think Jalen has that too because, he's got that adversity, come up a little bit where he's been counted out. I mean, you said it earlier on this show. Many fans might not want to admit this, but the truth is the truth. Nobody expected Jalen to be a thrower of the football like he is right now.
He was going to be a backup safety belt guy.
Dude, he was a guy. I mean, people thought about him being like, is he a Taysom Hill? Think about that. That was a topic on national TV when Jalen Hurts was drafted. Legitimately. Will Doug Peterson use him like a Taysom Hill? That was a conversation. He's elevated himself to a Super Bowl MVP quarterback. I mean, it's absurd. So they both share that. I think they'll both probably respect each other because of that. Very different styles, though. I think Baker's a more talented thrower of the football. Both OU guys. That's true. But I think Jalen has this it factor that just overtakes almost every variable, it seems. And when they have their worst game I've ever seen, worst half of football I've ever seen last week, they still find a way to win. It's just Jalen embodies that. So they're both unique players. They're both kind of fun players to watch and talk about. They're unique in their own right, though. Should be a great matchup between the two and the two teams.
All right, let me ask you this one. You're a former athlete. You're a high-level athlete. Who would you rather be coached by, Todd Bowles or Nick Sirianni?
Todd Bowles. No question. Just me personally, though. Just my personal approach on a type of coach.
Boy, you answered that fast.
Yeah, it's just I've said that consistently. I respect Nick, and I'm not downplaying what Nick has done. It's just, if you're asking me personally for my opinion, he wouldn't be my style. Like, he wouldn't be the type of dude I'd want to follow. He wouldn't be the type of dude I would hire. Now, again, it's worked out. There's more than one ways to do it. I'm not professing to know everything, but it would just be my style. I would prefer Bowles. I like Bowles better.
You know why? I think Bowles has more. I think Nick sometimes comes off like a bullshit artist. I don't think there's any bullshit in Todd Bowles. And I mean, and again, I don't mean that too harshly. What I mean by that is he's like a company guy with some of the answers that he answers because that's the way they do business. Remember what you said to me about Jalen Hurts being put in a box and being put in a system and being put in a way that he has to win games? I think Nick is also put in a box. This is how we do business. This is how we do things here. This is how we talk about our coaches and players. Coaches and players are interchangeable. Okay? Front office people. Don't you find it odd that the majority of the front office people in Philadelphia have been there 20 or more years, and yet your coaches are constantly revolving and your players are revolving? So Nick knows the landscape, and he's put in a box the same way as Cord. I think Nick's put in a box. I think KP's put in a box. I think Jalen is. But get this, to your point, all of that said, Sills, 19-1, 2 Super Bowl wins in 8 years, 3 appearances. What's your concern with our procedure and how we go about the business of football? Look at the Cowboys. The Cowboys are nowhere in the planet even near us. This is where you win the argument with the way the Eagles do business. You can't get away from it. And this is why they believe that the front office is more important and that organizations win championships. I'd like to have one day Howie ask this question. Who does he think wins championships? Organizations or players? And I don't want you to give me a mayor of the year in Philadelphia answer.
And that's what he would, if you asked him that, that's what he would give you.
He would. And I'd quantify that by saying, if you had to pick one, and I'm asking you, who do you think wins organizations? I believe he thinks he does. And that the players he puts in the organization, that's a direct result of their direction of how they go about their business. And I think that's why Kevin Patullo's in a box. I think that's why Nick's in a box. I think that's why the quarterback is in a box. Let me ask you this about Carson.
Wait, I want to answer that, though, before we move forward.
All right.
So I agree with you. I agree with you that they would think that. And I'm going to present to you a potential evolution of the game that where it might be more true today than in the past. Now, I'm of the belief that players win championships, okay? You don't win championships in New England if you don't have Tom Brady. You don't win Super Bowls in Philadelphia if you don't have Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, that offensive line, that defense. You don't do that. But are organizations more important to that recipe today now than ever because the growth of the game, because the size, think about the sheer size of the employees within a football team right now. Howie Roseman, he's got 50 analytics guys working under him.
And the cap.
And the money and the size of, the stature of the organization. Like it's become, we talked about this once before. They're like Fortune 500 companies now. It used to be a football team. Bill Belichick ran his football team. Now it's like you got this part, and it's so much bigger where it's like, if you have great players, I do think you got to kind of have a great organization too. Now, in defense of your point, it takes the rare combination of both that I think gets you the real success, the long-term success. But I don't think just great players could win a Super Bowl without an organization that knows what they're doing, because you look at organizations like the Bengals, are you blaming Joe Burrow there? No, you're like, that organization sucks. Look at Chicago. Look at all of these, the Panthers. Look at all these organizations that don't consistently stack good decisions together that give your team a good opportunity to win. Now, at the end of the day, it's the dudes between the white lines. We all know, everybody should know that. I would think you would know that. It's the dudes between the lines that are fighting the battles. But it's a good example. They're fighting the battles, but to win the war, you got to have more you got to have more support, So I think the organization does have a bigger role than maybe they would have in the past, but I do agree to your point that players are more important here.
Just an update. I just got a text. Wirfs and Godwin are going Sunday. They're questionable right now, game time, but they're going on Sunday. Now I don't know.
Let's go for the Bucks. I mean, that's
I don't know how much of an impact Godwin's been out since the Raven games last year. So I mean, I don't know what he offers you. I mean, you know what I mean? Wirfs was full practice yesterday. So who do you think is more valuable then to Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman, or Jalen Hurts? Everything you just said.
Yeah, that's a good question.
All the stuff you just said.
Honestly, in my heart, I believe Jeffrey thinks Howie's more important. I do. I just think that's what Jeffrey would
ask
think.
John that question one day. That's all you need to know about the organization.
Yeah, he thinks Howie's more important. Is he wrong?
No. Because get this. If I have all these quality guys picking players for me, and I have a way about how we're doing, okay, would you rather have a great front office, or is the front office the reason why do you agree that the reason that you have great players on your team right now is because the front office is great. Do you agree with that?
To a large extent, yes. Yeah, I mean, yeah. How else do you
Okay.
get good players?
Well, bro, if you're the Jaguars who don't have a great front office, or you're Buffalo who has a semi-decent front office, or if you're the Tennessee Titans and you don't have a great front office, dude, today's football, I'm going by what you told me by
Yeah.
today's NFL. I think what's more important to an owner today is having that quality general manager more than even having a franchise quarterback.
It's tough to gauge
Because even if you have a franchise quarterback, Xander, listen to this. If you have a franchise quarterback and you have a subpar front office, how many of these quarterbacks die on the vine at those?
that's what I mean. That's why I think that it's more important, because even when you have the best quarterbacks, that you'll ever see talent-wise that get drafted, it
Trevor
doesn't.
Lawrence.
It does less for turning an organization around than a great general manager does. Is that a turning point? There's no way that
Look at the guy you saw last night. You're watching. I'm watching fucking Sam Darnold, and I'm going like this. You're kidding me. Do you want to hear something, Xander?
Dude, Sam Darnold looks good,
bro. You want to hear this? He's 17-4 in the last 2 years. He's 17-4.
Impressive.
I mean, for a guy.
Yeah, you give Hurts credit for 19-1. You got to give Darnold credit for that. Not 17-4.
Get this, and for a guy who was fired in New York, who everyone went, that guy's a fucking bomb, and he's 17-4. Now, look, I can't get over the nuclear implosions at the end of last year that he had in the playoffs and at the end of the season. But dude, doesn't it show you when you go look at Baker Mayfield going to the Bucs, coming out of Carolina? He goes to the Bucs. Look at him now. He's going to be talking about a $55 million deal. Yeah. Look at these reclamation projects all around the league right now. When you go to good front offices, I'm going off of what you said to me a couple minutes ago, Sills, the old school mentality versus new school stuff. Is it more important to have a really quality front office like the Eagles do? Or do you think it's more important to have franchise quarterbacks or franchise players?
Yeah, it's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I mean, make an argument each way. I do want to clarify. I mean, like somebody up here says, I think the owner loves Jalen. That wasn't the question. I agree, Mark.
That's a question.
The owner loves Jalen Hurts, and I think he knows his value. But what
I asked you who's more important to him.
Yeah, Sill's talking about something a little different than just like whether he likes the quarterback. And yeah, I mean, look, I agree with this guy here. Ray says GMs are overrated, coaches and players are more important. But the problem, Ray, is this. Again, it's why I said chicken or the egg. How do you get great players? How do you how do you evaluate? Ray, you got 500 new football players coming into the league every single year between draft picks and undrafted free agents. You probably got more equal or more than that leave the league because they never panned out in football in any given year. How do you find those players, Ray? Because I agree with you. The players are the most important thing. But at the end of the day, a great player on another roster doesn't help your team.
But to Brady's point, if I draft a guy number 1 overall and I give him a shitty fucking coach, what do you think the chances of that guy going on and being successful are? None. We just got through saying coaching in the NFL. Look at the coaching Brady got when he was younger. He had Belichick in his ear telling him what not to line up in.
Yeah, right.
Then he ended up putting Josh McDaniels around him and Bill O'Brien around him. How about this one? Do you think if Jalen Hurts went to the Tennessee Titans, he'd be where he is right now?
No. And has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. Are you kidding me? No, not even fucking close. Not even close.
So it does go back to this. Yeah. In today's NFL, I'm going to ask Mike North this. It goes back to this. Howie Roseman, he loves Jalen Hurts. He loves Brandon Graham. He loves all those guys. At the end of the day, though, to him, Xander, the most important guy in the building is Howie Roseman. Because Howie puts the players on the field. He signs the contract.
Well, why does Howie make, a tenth of what Jalen makes?
It's just the pay scale of what those guys are. General managers don't make a lot of money.
No, they don't.
I mean,
they make money, but they don't make
probably
money.
makes double what he makes. I mean, if you're paying Howie, you're paying him what, 10? And I'm assuming that deal got
I
cut.
don't even know if it's 10, dude.
Well, I can guarantee you that I believe that Nick's making 15. Between 12 and 15, somewhere in there. It's got to be. Funny, his salary never came out. I mean, this is to the approach that we already are arguing this week. And this is why I think the players argued this week. Dude, these coaches have this mentality. And the players are fighting it. I find this. Do you think Jalen Hurts likes this offense?
I think Jalen Hurts honestly likes winning. I really do. I think he just likes winning. And when they win, he's happy.
How's that not frustrating, though, when you know what winning is and he doesn't? I mean, Kevin Patullo does not know what winning is as an offensive coordinator. He knows what winning is as an Eagle coach, not a fucking coordinator. He's not a championship offensive coordinator, dude. He's a championship Eagle coach. You're being elevated to the pilot seat. And when you're elevated to the pilot seat, flying the plane by yourself is a whole different world, isn't it? It sure looks it. I mean, these guys have complained all week subtly. I got to tell you what you said about AJ earlier. Dude, that fucking guy, AJ Brown, man, he is doubling, tripling, and just absolutely doubling down, making it everybody know. Listen, the players want to play one way. How about the number 30% of the second half, Jalen Hurts audibled out of plays that Kevin Patullo called?
Yeah, I saw that.
So for every 10 plays, he said no to 3 of them.
Yeah, but what was the rate of that? Like, I know that it's more than the first half was, but what's the rate of a great quarterback audibling at the line? Probably high.
Well, then let me ask you this. You think
I'm not going to go crazy, but the craziest extent would be Peyton Manning. I mean, Peyton Manning, he might have changed every fucking play.
I think he was his own offensive coordinator. Well,
you probably right.
So what do you think changed? Here, let me ask you this. Remember the question was, what happened in the second half? Who was calling the plays? Well, I think
Bobo.
we found out now who's calling the plays.
Even AJ said Bobo.
Yeah, but wait. No, he did call the plays, but Jalen changed some of them.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Oh, well, wait. He didn't change him in the first half. And that's why you had plus 34 total yards.
Yeah, why didn't he change him in the first half?
Because he finally said, AJ probably went over to him and went like this. Dude, we got to fucking do something. We're getting killed. And he went, you're right. They both went over there and started chirping, going, hey, the hell are we doing here, man? And that's when the whole thing hit the fucking fan. They started throwing the ball. AJ and all them guys were all happy and shit. Targets happened. There's no way they're doing that shit in this Bucks game. You're going to come out and you're going to be doing this. Mail. Hey, mail.
I feel like the Eagles are in a good position this weekend. I do. I mean, I think this is the perfect week to kind of, exercise that demon that they've had with this Bucks team. They're banged up. I mean, I know you were banged up, but I'm with you. No excuses. Well, you got the Bucks right where you want them. They're not fully healthy. I know they're in a hot weather game, but I'm with you on that. I mean, shut up about the weather. I know you're playing Tampa. It is what it is. Take it up with the NFL who has a team down there. I don't know what you want me to tell you. The weather's hot. You know.
Let me before I get Mike North on, we got to read some of these super chats here.
Yeah. Good.
So I'm going to tell this to Mike North when he comes on here. So do you think that the Chicago Bears management team in the last 20 years, God rest her soul, Virginia McCaskey sucked as an owner. She sucked. Okay. Let me ask you this. Do you think they've developed any quarterback with their management skills? You could have the number 1 picks, Mitchell Trubisky. You can have Justin Fields. If you've got a shitty front office, you're not developing that quarterback.
I know.
You're not.
It's true. I mean, I don't know. Like, I know we got Mike North coming up. I'm excited.
Ryan Poles blow.
I think Mike has Chicago syndrome, where he looks back on Mitch Trubisky and dreams of having him back because Mitch Trubisky's a solid ball player, but I wouldn't.
At least
I wouldn't say he's a guy you want to go out on a list for or anything.
He's telling you he won, though. I mean,
no, I know. He did win. He did win, and the Bears don't win a lot. So he deserves credit. Just like I give Jalen Hurts credit for that. You got to give Mitch credit for that. So I do agree with that. But I don't know. My thing with Poles is this. Like, nobody has been successful before him. So has he done an incremental better job than other people? Because I don't believe a GM can operate fully at their best level if they don't have an ownership group that puts them in the right environment. That's why can Howie Roseman make so many good moves? Why? Because he can sign good contracts.
Bro.
Why can he sign good contracts? Because the owner lets him spend cash. When you can spend cash, you can get more players. When you can get more players, you have more success. So, part of me is like, Poles is meh, but are they doing the right things behind Poles to get him in an environment to succeed?
Here's another example.
Because I think he's listen, real quick though. I think Poles is the talent on offense over there. Whatever you think of Caleb, leave him out for a second. They got good skill position guys. Offensive line is still meh. They got decent running. Like, they've gotten better guys in that room to lead you to more wins. Now, they have to put it all together now, but I don't know.
Well, when you get mercenaries and you don't get draft picks and you're not doing homegrown, that becomes a problem. I'll say this to you, man. Between the owner, are you kidding me? It's like saying that the Bartolo York's family, like the Denise DeBartolo York, has been a good owner.
Right.
Hey, listen, she may be Eddie DeBartolo's daughter, but that apple was thrown from the tree. That's nowhere near.
The new Colts owner kind of walking around and policing everything a little bit.
I don't know. They're 3-0.
Yeah, right. Hey, man, no knock.
I'll tell you what, that Daniel Jones guy, that's not the same guy I saw in New York.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
hey,
man.
let's read some of these supers before we get to the legendary Mike North. Then don't forget, too, we got Philly Godfather at 5:30.
Rich says Hurts wants an Andy Reid. That's all. Yeah, I kind of think you're right, but at the same time, never going to have it.
Well, that's right. And this was the thing that Chris Long said, that he's always going to fall in an issue with here, is because why? If you don't have a play calling head coach, you're going to have the revolving door at coordinator every year.
Indiana Jones is a great nickname. Dirty D says Eagles have 1,142 paid employees. Dude, think about that. They got 53 men on the roster.
They got 1,100 employees?
I told you, man.
I bet you 1,000 of them are analytic guys.
No, but the point is, like, these are Fortune 500. These are like, dude, this is different.
Yeah,
this
I get
is a different world than now.
It is.
Max says, what do you think about Shiloh Sanders on the team? He got cut, right?
Yeah, he got to work out with the 49ers, and I don't know. Hey, did you see that stupid-ass comment Shador said? He said, I looked around the league, and I see all the bad quarterback play, and I turned around and went, dude, you're third team on the Browns. I might want to shut the fuck up.
His point is he hasn't been given an opportunity. Let him play. I'm
Dude,
Team Shador on that.
Third-team quarterback in Cleveland.
Dude, we got guys like fucking, I've seen guys like Nathan Peterman out there. He's not wrong when he says that there's shitty quarterbacks in football. Rich says, if you applied for the NFL, what coaching? That's a great question.
I'd want to be a
line coach.
You know what? I had a chance to coach on the Bears organization when Dave Wannstedt was there. I had a chance to coach in Cleveland with Butch. I had a chance to coach in North Carolina, and I had a chance to be in the personnel department with the Raiders with Ken Herrick. And when those guys were out there with Al Davis, Al hired me and put me in the broadcasting. And so I had a shot to do that. But, yeah, no. So, I always look back on it because here's Xander. You don't have to be great to make a lot of money in coaching today.
Man.
So, I mean, you could just be mediocre and make $58 million.
Look at Bobo. Here we go.
Hey, or not only that, look at Dumbo Fisher at Texas A&M.
Oh, gosh.
He got $78 million on the way out the door.
Oh, God, I hate Dumbo Fisher. Kyle, I'm about to rip you, brother. I love you, man. He says, do y'all think Joe Douglas is going to help with the draft next year? Now, Kyle, before I even let Sileo answer, Kyle, do I have to remind you the draft picks that have happened in Philadelphia in the last 4 years? I mean, just in April, we drafted 2 starters on defense who are graded very highly in the NFL for their first 3 games. It's early. Last year, you got Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, 2 stars. The year before that, you got Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, 2 starters on defense. Tyler Steen, now a starter on offense. I mean, the year before that, you got Jordan Davis, who took him a little bit, but he's come alive. 2nd round pick that year, Kyle, Cam Jurgens. I just named you the last 8 first, 2nd round picks for the Eagles, and they're all starters. What do you mean help in the draft? I don't think we need fucking help in the draft. We're good. Just keep doing what they're doing.
Isn't that the guy who brought Aaron Rodgers in New York too? I might hang in there.
Right. He made a lot of good moves in New York. That might have been the one bad
Yeah,
move. But
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think they need help in the draft, but I assume he'll help. Here's Howard. Howard says, one of the cool things for the matchup is it seems that both Baker and Jalen are in the best respective teams that they can be in. That's a good comment to fit their skill sets. I do think it's going to be close because analytics, but Birds win. It's a good comment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great
well,
comment.
a couple more here.
Couple more. We'll get to Mike North here in a second here.
I will say Baker is a guy you can root for, and he's going to get paid. He's got that dog in him, but I think the Eagles will control this 24-16.
He makes $30 million. $30 million. That guy's going to be 55 and north of it. Speaking of
Baker's the best contract in the league. Jim says the Browns going after Watson and letting Baker walk basically sums up that organization.
Oh yeah, the Browns. Hey, they want Baker back in Cleveland. How you doing?
Rich says 55% chance of rain Sunday. Game start. We already talked about that, Rich. Eagles all day 2-5. He also said Kevin has preached being aggressive. Yeah, but I'm not listening to him anymore because he also told me Eagles at the press conference this week that he was aggressive in the first half. We have 30 yards of offense and -1 passing yards. I'm going to watch what he does, not listen to what he says. All right.
That's right.
All right. It's all of them.
Well, let me put it to you this way. So I got a Super Bowl MVP quarterback and I got a training wheels coordinator. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. That's correct. Well, yeah, guess what?
Maybe that second half was the ripping off of the training wheel. Get these off and throw them in the dumpster. That's what made me happy.
I got to have open heart surgery. Wait a minute. You just got out of Cook County? That's the hospital up there in Chicago. Wait a minute. You just got your tenure at Cook? Yeah, I just came over from Northwestern. Really? Have you ever done a surgery? No. Holy cow. Well, I'm not having that guy cut me up. That's not working. All right. Big Z. Great stuff.
Brother, good show, man. Great show, man. I'll catch you on Sunday for the pregame. All right, my man?
You got it, my friend. I look forward to that, and I can't wait. All right. All that being said, so last week, man, I could just see Mike North there when them Bears in the first half are kind of like flopping around a little bit, and all of a sudden they do a flea flicker, boom, right down the sideline, and they kick the crap out of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if that's any more of a gigantic thing here, but big slate of games. I first want to start them off with the Eagles and Bucks here, but without further ado, and backed by popular demand, you guys demand this guy back. He is a living legend in Chicago. Okay, you have WLS Music Radio up in Chicago when I was a kid listening to WLS. This man here is the sports icon. Okay, WGN, all of that up in Chicago. Here he is. Without further ado, the legend himself, Mike North. How you doing, my friend?
I was on WGN. I was on Romper Room when I was 5 years old. I'm their longest working employee. I haven't gotten a cent from them. All I do is promote them on podcasts. What's going on, you handsome W? I'll tell you, I heard that kid. He's got a lot of hustle in him. I like him.
Oh, yeah. No. Hey, listen, guess what he did? This is how so like he owns the network, right? He and his own man. And so I did this. I go like this, Mike. So I had him on once a week because I thought he would suck. I didn't know right away, right? So I go like this. I go, well, wait. So then all of a sudden I started putting him on and I go, holy shit, the kid's pretty good.
That's it.
So as we are right now, it's one of the most popular segments I have. And get this, he kills like segments when I get Ice Cube on or I get like Todd Bowles on or whomever. The guy's doing really great. So, hey, we're trying to, you and me, we know what? Hey, we're all
here. We got ears. We can hear. We know what's good. We know what's bad. I'll tell you what, I heard him talking. Trubisky still winner. Baker Mayfield winner. I don't know. The thing that when you do win in an environment where you haven't won and you make the playoffs like both men did at Cleveland and Chicago, it is puzzling how things turn around and everything's to blame on the quarterback, all of a sudden. But I saw what happened against Dallas with the Bears. I was very happy for Caleb Williams. They got Eberflus, who played the softest zone I've ever seen on any football field, college or pro.
You probably saw a lot of that when he was in Chicago anyway.
Absolutely. Right? And then he did a good job. But then I read that Russell Wilson had 450 yards against Dallas with 37 points against the Dallas Cowboys. And Williams had 298 yards, and he had 4 touchdowns. But only in the NFL can a guy throw for 450 and get benched. Well, you get free hot dogs if your other guy throws for 298 and 4 touchdowns. So the hype is real. You win one game, everybody. I mean, I read social media today, and we're on North to North. If you want to check this fabulous show out, I got it tuned in right here, so I can get a good look.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm having a bad hair day. The toupee's crooked a little bit, but that's beside the point. Look, no, it's not a toupee, but it looks like a toupee, and that bothers me. Anyway, we finally won a game. I was happy about it. But you talk about Mayfield, you talk about Hurts. They don't have gaudy stats. They just go out and do what they got to do to win. They're gym rats. They come out. If they need to run that day, they run the football. They need to pass that day, they pass it. They need to have a balance, they do it. You know, if he's got to run, he'll run. Either guy. So I like quarterbacks like that. Okay. Now, as far as I'm concerned, when you look at what Caleb Williams against Dallas did, he's going to have, I believe, a long day. I think the Bears are going to have a long day on Sunday. I think they're going up against, and this was my order for Bear coaches. When they wanted the new coach, I said, I want Jimmy Harbaugh 1. If we don't get him, I want Pete Carroll. Everybody looked at me. They go, Pete Carroll? I go, yeah, 2-time national champ in college and a Super Bowl champ. And then my third guy was Ben Johnson. So all 3 guys are working. But I think this is a bad game, a bad spot for the Bears. On the road, Raiders have made it close in a game. They also have a win. I think Pete Carroll is a better coach at this point than Ben Johnson. Geno Smith is the right guy to beat this team. And I will say this. I said it on my own show on ESPN 1000 today. I said, if Genty runs, because he can't get out of his own way right now. I mean, people forget. I remember the Bears had a guy named Rashawn Salam. He ran wild in Colorado. I go, yeah, they ran the option. I go, you're not going to run the option in Chicago. He's going to get killed unless you have a good offensive line. Well, the Raiders' offensive line, for some reason, and Genty haven't gelled yet. But if Genty gets over 75 yards, averages 3.94, Bears are losing this game, period.
Let me ask you about a real big game this weekend in the NFC, and it is Buccaneers and Eagles.
Oh, great game.
It is
game of the week, in my opinion.
It is. And Brady's in the house, too. So, I mean, your thoughts here now. You got Mayfield, you got Hurts. Both teams a little bit like gippy going in. Obviously, the Bucs more in the offensive line.
Yeah.
They've got injuries in their O-line. They are getting – hey, Mike, I just found out today because I do that radio show down in Tampa, too.
Right, I know.
Each day. So, Mike, I found out that Tristan Wirfs and Godwin are going. So they're going to play on Sunday. What do you make of that game? What do you think of that game on Sunday?
Money's coming in on both sides about even right now. So people haven't really taken the side. There's no
taking game.
Yeah. Right now, Mayfield and Tampa getting 3.5 at home. You would jump at that normally, but you brought up the injuries on the line. You have the situation where even though they're coming back, what kind of shape are they going to be in? You know, we had a kid named Jalen Johnson pushed himself. He had a groin pull, and now he's out for the year because he tried to push himself as a defensive back, and they let him back in. And he shouldn't have been brought back in because he's finished for the year. So you got to see what kind of shape they're going to be in. If I had a lean right now, I'd probably take the points, but I wouldn't bet this game, to be honest with you. It's going to be a hell of a game, though. 2 great competitors, like I said. 2 quarterbacks I'd take on my team any day of the week. I don't care about stats. I care about the W.
Baker Mayfield, let me start there before I go back to Hurts. I know what you feel about Hurts, and you know, I've said this about him. You know, Baker Mayfield's making $30 million a year. Here's a guy that's been, hey, Mike, you want to hear, here's a number for you. The guy who's thrown the most touchdown passes in the last 2 years has been Baker Mayfield.
He had over 30 last year. There was only 4 quarterbacks.
41 he threw a year ago. It was insane. And so, I mean, what do you make of him? I mean, do you think if he wins is this game – it's not that important, and I'm not saying that
it is important.
Win it, but this game is really important for a guy like Mayfield.
Well, first of all, I'd ask my parents why you named me Baker. Okay, that's tough. I mean, you know, he had to take a little bit of key, but here, I like him. He was always a cocky type, but humble type of guy. You can believe in yourself. and he had good bravado. He's a guy that can fire up his team, which the Ryder Cup could use right now, by the way.
They're getting annihilated.
You got a guy named Keegan as your boss. I mean, come on. Where are you going? Anyway, I like him. I believe in him. I saw him win in Cleveland, but he's in the right system right now. His team believes in him. And I saw him get out of trouble a couple times last week where I got to believe 25, 26 quarterbacks would have been caught.
Absolutely.
He got out of this one spot like Gale Sayers. And I said, whoa, how did he figure that out? He got out within the grasp of 3-4 guys within a 4-yard area. It was absolutely a tremendous play. And he's a guy that's got a merit for what he's done already, coming from behind 3 times. MVP type of caliber right now.
Mike, I had a conversation in the last segment, and I said I was going to ask you this. So, if you draft a quarterback number 1, that doesn't necessarily mean that quarterback's going to come in.
Well,
and you have thousands.
You're talking to me now,
right? You're talking to Chicago here, and Chicago's like New York with the Jets right now. You want to go someplace to die as a quarterback? Chicago and New York is the place. However,
New York, I'm telling you, the Giants and the Jets. I mean, you know what? At least
look at Daniel Jones right now.
Well, that's because they know how to develop quarterbacks there at Indianapolis.
Shane Steichen.
And new ownership, from Irsay, where he's not walking around playing the guitar pretending he's Hank Smith. His I guess it's his daughter or whoever. She is active in what they're doing right now. Virginia McCaskey was, she's upstairs, helping the press box, going to sleep. This one's on the charting things and stuff. So
yeah,
they know how to develop quarterbacks. Danny Jones right now, and I've wagered on Indianapolis a couple times already this year, and he's done me proud. So, I mean, he looks like a completely different person, and that's what happens. There's 5 places you can't go right now. You can't go to Carolina, okay? No. You can't go to Miami.
Right.
You can't go right now to Chicago even. You can't, and I know, believe me, if they win this week, I'll take them off the list. But if they lose this week, they're 1-3 and they'll go deeper into the list, okay? But there's 4 or 5 teams. Cleveland.
The Jets.
You can't go to those 5-6 teams if you're a quarterback.
Yep.
You go to Caleb Williams was so desperate. The rumor was he wanted a percentage of ownership if they were, or otherwise he wasn't going to come. So it's who owns the team, and it's no big deal. Look at Minnesota, how sound they are. I don't even know who the owner is now. You know what I mean?
Ziggy Wilf.
Yeah, I thought it was Ziggy Wilf still or whatever.
Yeah, it is. It's Ziggy Wilf.
Is it? Okay. I hadn't followed them. I know is
but my question is, would you rather have a strong front office like a Howie Roseman?
Yes.
Than having a top franchise quarterback? Because here, look at what they're doing with Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. Look at all these reclamation projects when you have general managers like Jason Light, or you have people in Seattle. Look at the guy in Seattle. The guy in Seattle had Geno Smith. Now he's got Sam Darnold. These guys are all reclamation projects.
You know what?
But it all comes down to having a good front office. If you don't have a good front office, I don't care what talent you have coming out of college, because most of the time you'll destroy that. John Schneider, that GM in Seattle, I mean, look at what he's done with 2 reclamation projects. I'm really thinking that the general manager in today's NFL, Mike, back in the day, was having the quarterback. But if you don't have a really talented general manager in today's NFL, you're not going to win.
Well, the 85 Bears didn't really have their number 1 quarterback available all the time, and yet they built such a great team from which side. We've talked about this from Jim Finks and Jerry Venezia. Yeah. You look at today's National Football League, and you look at the people like Roseman who've done a great job, and you look at the teams that have the top-tier talent. And then you got to get lucky. John Lynch was a dead man. Okay, he screwed that whole deal up with the quarterback, if you remember, the kid for the 3 draft picks.
That Trey Lance.
Trey
Lance.
Lance.
They went for the 3.
Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, and Purdy showed up on the scene. Otherwise, John Lynch might be gone.
Saved his job.
Absolutely. People conveniently forget that. It saved his butt. If you don't have, like I said, Ryan Poles with the Bears right now has a 17-39 record, and they gave him a 4-year extension. It's ridiculous. They shouldn't have given it to him. There are some things he's done well. For instance, Roma Dunzier, Caleb Williams, but they're skill position players. You can get receivers a dime a dozen. The teams you mentioned, like Seattle, Tampa, lines. He built his defensive to Seattle. All you need is 4 guys. You don't even have to blitz with their defensive line. You know that. And what a beautiful thing that is for your defensive coordinator that knows I don't have to shoot a linebacker or 2 or a safety or a corner, okay, to help you and your 3 buddies. They can get in if there's 6 guys blocking them. So that's how you will win a football. That's how you win a football in the NFL. You can't win without your lines. If you don't have a good offensive, defensive line, you'll get so far and then you're done.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I can't. I have.
I took the words right out of your mouth.
No, you did, and I've got to go here then. Now, okay.
Okay, I'm ready.
Your Cubs, man, as of today, right now.
Ready.
All right, they take on the Padres in the opening round of the playoffs in the National League. Do you have any hope in your boys there?
Hell no.
No.
I mean, basically, PCA, Pete Armstrong hit like 210 the second half, you know. he finally hit a homer today, or he has 30 homers, 30 stolen bases. I'm happy for him. Suzuki hit like 220 in the second half. These guys had a half. Look at the Detroit Tigers, the same thing. 15.5 game lead. Believe me, I can't stand that guy, A.J. Hinch. He should have been banned from baseball after they fixed the World Series. You know, baseball should have thrown his ass out. But now this is even better. He's in the dugout like this. I've been watching him for 2 months. He doesn't do anything. He just says, I don't know how I got in first place by 15, and I don't know how I'm blowing this goddamn lead by 15. I'm just going to sit here like a sitting bull, for Christ's sake. Doesn't pull anything, doesn't hit and run, doesn't bunt, doesn't sacrifice. He just, you know what I mean? So the Cubs, they haven't played worth a damn in the second half. They just got swept 4 games by the Cincinnati Reds. But that doesn't mean anything. Ernie Banks never played in a wild card game. Ernie Banks never played in any postseason, folks. No. They didn't have a tournament like they have now, where you got to go through 4 different series to get to the World Series. That's fine. Okay? Anything can happen. We saw Arizona get in the World Series. The Cubs could get hot. I doubt it, but they could get hot. People don't seem to believe in their pitching.
Right.
Shota,
very
hittable lately. They've had a lot of injuries. Cade Horton's hurt now. We've talked about this. Great Counsel. All he does is count pitches, and every damn pitcher's on the injured list, for Christ's sake. So I don't get it. I just don't understand. 1, 2, 3. He's got 49 pitches. Pull him out, and then the guy's like this 2 days later in the sling. Come on.
I got a hoop. Today was media day in the NBA, you know.
Oh, geez. I was taking a nap.
Okay, well, wait. Before you get to the Bulls, what do you make? What do you think of Joel Embiid?
What's my other alternative?
The White Sox. Hey, Mike. What do you make of Joel Embiid?
I think he's a paper. I think he's a. They used to call it not a paper tiger. He's a good. I like him as a player. He's just not willing to play at 80%. These guys got it made in the shade. They got so much money. This guy begged for that MVP, which he shouldn't have had. They should give it to that big guy that looks like Lurch from the Adams family. What's his name? That maniac. He should get it every single game.
The guy in Denver?
The Joker.
Denver,
that guy should get it every year. Forget him.
Okay.
I mean, he should have won 4 in a row. And Jordan, they would have said, Michael Jordan. I don't know. Jordan could have won every year too.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, he hasn't been worth the money. He's been a pain in the ass. You don't know when he's playing.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I think he's been bad for the team. If he wasn't on the team, they could fit some pieces. And the Ben Simmons thing was a disaster. There's no question. I mean, Harden is a piece of you-know-what in my eyes.
Yep.
You had a bunch of characters over there that don't want to give 100%. I saw the greatest basketball player on earth and was friends with the greatest ever. And I know what it takes for a great player just by watching him every night go, I'm going to be better than all of you. I mean, every night. Not like five nights.
Wait a minute now.
Every night.
This goes into the conversation. Wait a minute here. You know, LeBron.
Oh, shit.
You know, LeBron.
He hasn't even won. I mean, the guy, he's a carpetbagger. He had to go to other teams.
Mike.
Jordan said, who you giving me? Bill Whittington? We'll win a championship.
Wait.
Who you giving me? Luke Longley? We'll win a championship. Who you giving me? Bill Cartwright? We'll win a championship.
Hey.
The guy won a championship with 3 stiffs.
Wait a minute here. What about LeBron, man? I mean, don't you think LeBron is like the greatest? Don't you think he's the GOAT? He says it.
He's 10. He's top
10.
Oh, my God. You got guys. I mean, Jabbar was unbelievable. I mean, you know who was a bitch of a player? The most underrated. I'm going to write a book one day. No, I won't. I just thought it sounded. On the air.
I won't. I'll tell you this.
I got professorial.
Okay, wait. I got one question for you then.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring Jabbar in, if you had to win a game with seconds left in the game, would you take Jordan's 20-footer or would you take Jabbar's 5-foot sky hook to win a game?
There's the problem with Jabbar, though. See, you tried to trap me.
It's Sanders. See, when you got these experienced guys, you can't set them up.
I'm going to tell you why. Jabbar had one move. Jordan had 50. So, you know, you don't want Jordan getting the ball. You'd rather have Jabbar try. Now, Magic Johnson made this, say, a shot over McHale. Okay. Larry Bird gets my final shot. I mean, that's the way it is. I would never let LeBron James take it. Magic Johnson would be up there. Bird, Magic, Jordan. The rest of you, go screw yourselves.
What about Steph Curry?
I'll take those 3. Steph Curry can play on that team. I'll take Bird, Magic, and 3-on-3 league. You want to see records broken? You want to see them just shattered? You want to see a team never lose a game? Bring back Jordan, Magic, and Bird in that 3-on-3 league. What's his name? Ice Tub? What's his name?
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube. Yeah. Ice Cube. Yeah. That's right.
No. Hey, by the way, Ice Tub, I'll make sure I tell you next
Make
time.
sure you tell him. Hey, I like the guy. He's a football, baseball guy.
He is. The next time
I respect him. Ice Tub. But tell him there's a white guy named Ice Tub that's on the north side of Chicago.
Hey, wait, Mike. Okay.
Yeah.
What made Jordan the best athlete, not just the best basketball player in the last generation? What made him number one?
He didn't like people a whole lot. He didn't. You saw his Hall of Fame speech. I'm telling you, the guy.
Oh my God, it's one of my favorite speeches of all time.
Let me tell you something.
The Brian Russell thing at the end was hilarious.
I gambled with the man. I'm telling you right now, I've never seen a guy that hates to lose, a guy that gets an edge to him, a guy that remembers people slighted him. I mean, we all have that.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've killed 300 people in the shower this morning that I can't stand. I got another 2,000 to go. You know, you have it run through your head every.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. So he's just a competitor, one of the great guys of all time. I mean, I'll never see. I used to go to the game and say to myself, someday I'm going to look back. I'll be on the air somewhere, maybe, hopefully, and because there were no computers yet, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I wonder if people will even believe they'll have the TV, but until you saw it nightly.
Mike, what was that open like at the old Chicago Stadium?
That was awesome.
When they came out and those guys had that
music.
That music.
And you know, you'd be walking. There's Madonna. You know, Dennis Rodman was dating her. It was a circus. They were as big in Chicago as the '85 Bears. That's for goddamn sure. Jordan, for sure. Jordan's as big as any in Chicago. Jordan's more national than Walter Payton was, or any of those guys.
Mike
or
Ditka.
Ernie. Jordan's in another stratosphere, man. And I'm proud to have known the guy. We were hard on him sometimes. I mean, the guy
Well,
was
he didn't win a title for 9 years.
right, and the guy was gambling in Atlantic City. But then, you look back now, and you go, "Holy Christ!" And we didn't really get on him for anything ever on the basketball court. We went to bat for him. I remember he wanted to come back from that foot injury, plantar fasciitis.
Yep.
And Jerry Krause and Reinsdorf didn't want him to come back. He says, "I'm coming back." And I said, "Hey, if the guy wants to come back, let him come back." They were worried about the future because their owners and general manager. He never got hurt again.
All right. Well, let me ask you. This goes to the question I asked you earlier. Who won those championships? Organization or the players?
Well, the players are the organization.
Well, wait a minute. Jerry Krause put those He found.
That's right. I'm not going to take. Let me tell you something. He should have been retired before he died. He should have been put in the Hall of Fame before he died. And the fans booed his widow at the ceremony. That's horrible. People are classless. But
he found Pippen too. I mean, he found all
traded
this
all the Polonies for Pippen. He got Dennis Rodman from San Antonio when nobody wanted Dennis Rodman, but he had Jordan. See, Jordan was the first to practice and the last to leave. Jordan would get in fights on court fights, just Steve Kerr, other people on that court, Scott Bullard, other people. So he was the leader of the pack. Okay, remember I was telling you, it's either Michael Jordan is your leader or Keegan. Okay, from the Ryder Cup, Keegan. But Michael Jordan was like I have an old saying. Patton would never let anybody see you cry. Okay, Patton was one of these guys. I read history books. You look at certain guys that are born leaders, and you look at guys that aren't, and then you can tell the difference.
I'm going to tell you, and you tell me if I'm
wrong. What are you writing the chart? You look
I'm writing.
You look like you're conducting a homicide investigation.
I'm writing my top 5 Chicago legends for me. Okay, 5, I've got Ditka. 4, I got Banks.
Okay.
3, I got Butkus.
Oh, yeah.
2, I got Jordan.
Yeah.
1, I got Peyton.
Yeah. Tell you what.
I'm biased because I played against Walter.
Right. Well, I'm biased because I did a show and I was buddies with Walter, but I was buddies with Gale Sayers too. And Gale Sayers said to me, I said to him one time, because we worked together for about 4 years. We used to do shows every Tuesday out of
all the athletic director too at Southern Illinois.
Yeah. I mean, Gale was a great guy. I said, I used to bust his balls all the time. I'd go, "Hey, who was better, you or Barry Sanders?" And one time he got something. He goes, "Let me tell you something, Mike. Put Barry Sanders at Wrigley Field, 10 degrees weather, snow in his face, painted mud. After he leaves his house and it's 0 out.
How about Metropolitan Stadium up in Minnesota, outside of Dome? Yeah.
Give me the Silver Dome. I'll gain." He said at that time, before O.J. Simpson did it, I'll gain 2,000 yards in 14 games.
He's a good player. I tell people this: if you ever want to see the most electric football player that's ever played, and I'll tell you, how he was so great, Mike. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. I think this guy went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame and he was 28.
Yeah, he was 68 games only. He played 68 games.
68 games right now. That means Jalen Hurts right now has played something like that.
Yeah.
And he didn't have the ability because he never made the playoffs. Can you imagine playing 68 ball games and you make it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and you're not 30?
Yeah. And
that record will never be broke.
He never got by it. It broke his heart what happened to him. And then here's the amazing part about Gale. He came back in 1 year.
He did.
I
gained 1,000 yards.
I see guys with load management and all this crap now. He came back within a year, averaged 4.2, changed the style of running to running between the tackles, averaged 4.2 yards a carry, and led the National Football League in rushing, and then retired. That's the way to go. You changed your style, and you still. Can you imagine? He averaged 1 year 6 point. When he got hurt, he was averaging 6.3 yards a carry. and then he got hurt.
Tremendous. Just
I broke it. I was devastated. I was like a freshman in high school. We were devastated. We knew that was bad. I mean,
let me ask you one last one here. You think there was a big regret with those two guys with Butkus? Get this, folks. Butkus and Sayers were drafted in the same draft.
In the same draft, and Dick Gordon, who had like 72 catches a year for about 3 years straight.
It's just insane.
What a draft! The first draft. There'll never be 2 draft picks like Butkus and Sayers. Never.
Ever again. You know, the only other time that's ever happened where you had 2 Hall of Famers, it was Brooks and Sapp that went into the Hall of Fame. They were drafted in the same draft. When you talk to those guys, did they ever mention the fact that they thought that maybe as a team that they never really achieved anything as a team?
They were upset. I mean, Gale.
I'm sure they loved Hallis.
Yeah, he revered Hallis. Butkus hated him. Because he sued him. Butkus sued him for injuries and compensation.
Did Ditka like Hallis?
Not really, until he wrote that letter. Ditka said that Hallis threw nickels around like sewer covers. So, so he got traded.
Right. That's right, to Dallas.
Yeah. No, he went to Philly first.
Oh, that's right. Ditka went to Philly.
Then he went to Dallas, and then he started to look like Chris Christopherson and retired. You know.
Mike, tell the good folks how they can find you, my friend.
Listen, I want you guys to tune in. I'm betting the Ryder Cup every day, north to north on NORTH, the number 2 NORTH. Okay.
Hold on.
Then I want you to go to Bear's Bar Room. Go to the bar room. Okay. I have a show. Somebody big just died. If somebody big dies, they're going to be on the show. Check it out. Then I'm on ESPN 1000 tomorrow night after the White Sox game on ESPN 1000 with picks, okay? Then I'll have picks throughout the playoffs and everything else. Thank you, Sills.
Wait a second here. So the Ryder Cup now, after being destroyed this morning, they've kind of narrowed the groom a little bit. They're 3-2 right now, and it's in progress here. So let's see.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. They got to get a regular guy to be the manager. Keegan Bradley, what's he going to say to Scott Scheffler? Hey, hustle. I mean, he's not going to say anything to him. Yeah, hey, come over here. No, that doesn't happen. You're Keegan Bradley. I'm Scott. But Scotty Scheffler.
How about Tiger?
I'm tired of hearing about him. I saw he's working out again. That's it. I'm happy for you. I'm
done with Tiger.
I'm taking a leak later. So what? I got up from the couch. But no, listen, Sills, when your star doesn't perform in any sport. We talked about Jordan.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they lost him in an injury or if he just went south, they would never win again. If Scotty Scheffler, from what I was just before I went on the air on this fine program, and it is a fine program.
Thank you.
Had not got a birdie yet in two sessions.
Wow. John Rahm and his group are up 3 already?
Already. They beat the crap out of Scheffler. Okay. And I Spawn. I mean, Scheffler looks like he crapped him out. Spawn's like 5'2", and Scheffler.
He's choking.
I don't know. First of all, Cantley and Schauffele win the first round today.
Yeah.
I bet it. 3-1 they were down. The one they won, Cantley and Schauffele, right?
Yeah.
So what does Keegan Bradley do in the second session? He don't play them together. He sits Schauffele, and Cantley's with Burns, and they're getting their brains beat in. They lost. So
they did.
So why would you take away the one team you won with and put Scott Burns in and take Schauffele and sit him?
Holy shit, that one group got beat 6-5? 6-5?
These guys are all, they're not team.
Bro, that's like playing 9 holes.
Wait. The Europeans are a team. The other guys on the U.S. guys, if your head coach has to run down the fairway with an American flag like a drunk hyena, then where are we going? Where the hell are we going?
We're not going anywhere.
Is that what Vince Lombardi did? No, you know what Vince Lombardi did? Vince Lombardi said, I'm going to dress like a guy that manages a grocery store, and I'm going to whip everybody's ass.
Mike, thank you so much as usual.
All right,
Spectacular performance.
Anytime you need me, call me. I'm lonely.
Hey,
you know that.
You know that I will. You know you're awesome.
Anytime.
People love you.
Hey,
Mike, thank you, my friend.
Miami gave Florida a beat, and I was thinking about you.
How about this one next week? What do you got? Florida State, Miami.
Ooh, I don't know that one yet. But
It's in Tallahassee.
Can I give the listeners everything?
How about this? We'll give a tease and we'll do something next week. What about that?
I'll do something every week. Listen to me.
All right. We'll do. Oh, that's great. All right. Yeah. We'll talk next week.
You're my guy. But listen, real quick, LSU.
What?
LSU on Saturday. Let's everybody take a look at LSU.
Ole Miss. LSU Ole Miss.
I like LSU, guys.
LSU over
Brian Kelly, the WC Fields of head coaches, will finally get a big damn win. And if he doesn't, I never want to see him again. May he hang on meat hooks like Paulie. See you later.
Thank you very much. I'll catch you, Mike. Appreciate you, my friend. Hang on meat hooks like Paulie. Only on the Dan Sileo show do you get shit like that. Hey, so wait a minute here. Do you guys want Mike North every week? He brings energy. You know what? He's like one of those those puffer things. All of a sudden, you get a shot of adrenaline. Oh my God! Hey, by the way, you see that? Hey, he invited himself, and I love that. I want him to. So you guys want to see him every week? Dude, he's a funny guy. By the way, look him up. He just won an award for one of the great, I think he just got inducted into the into the Radio Hall of Fame. Okay? He got into the Radio Hall. He's in the Radio Hall of Fame. I don't know if he's like the Angelo Cataldi of Chicago. Slot his ass weekly. You see this, Sander? Sander and I were like this. I don't know, man. What do you think? I mean, this guy's I love him. I think he's funny as shit, man. I think he's great. Those old school Chicago stories. Right. I mean, except he's wait a minute. Is that right? So wait a minute. Okay. He's like Angelo, but he's funny. Is that what you say? All right. Let me pay some bills here. We've got Philly Godfather coming up, and we're going to try to win some money. Funny ass dude, I'm with you guys. The number one injury law firm in all of America is Morgan & Morgan. Folks, for the reasons I tell you, this law firm was started because they want to protect American families from coast to coast. It has been a crusade that Morgan & Morgan has had since they started this organization. Ultima and John, this is their passion. Their kids run the company, and when they go to battle for you, they're going to be and do the best they possibly can to make sure that you're going to be protected from these fraudulent claims. Please do me a favor. Go online to forthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529. That's FORthepeople.com/Big Sills or Pound Law 529, and do me a favor. You tell them Big Sills sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica, who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sil's National Football Show. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button here because, well, let's see where we are here. Guys, you've been absolutely fabulous. We appreciate you guys very much. I can't tell you enough. I mean, super stuff. And by the way, I love the fact that you guys are talking about getting Mike on here. By the way, let's try to get that up there, man. Let's get that like button up. See if we can get that at least past the 150 mark, okay? Guys, I appreciate it. Sills, bleed Philly, and he doesn't even know it. I told you this before, and I haven't said it in a long time. I don't root for your Eagles, but I do like the fan base a lot. A lot. Okay? A lot. I do. It's one of the best fan bases in all of sports. That's what I fall in love with. I don't really fall in love with teams, guys. I fall in love with the people I talk to. And I have for over 30 years. Okay? I mean, how about this? If you win on Monday, I'll do it. If you win. I'm not sing the song. I'll belt out a Fly, Eagle, Fly. I'm not going to sing it because I'm picking you to win that game. And let me reset that. Let me reset that. Yeah, let me reset that. Where's that thing? So, how I see the thing playing out, I got 28-26 Birds. And the only reason I'm picking Philadelphia, I said it earlier, by the way, just so you know I'm consistent. I said this on the Tampa show. Okay, no, hey, Steven, okay, no problem. We'll get those guys on for you guys. I said 28-26. And I want you to know, there wasn't like, hey, I picked the Bucks in the morning, and then I came here to the big show, and I said, hey, I was going to pick – that's not what I did. I picked Philadelphia this morning, knowing full well that Wirfs and Godwin are going to play. And that does help them. Now you get to put two other guys back in their normal positions and the offensive line. I don't think you're very good at edge. Going into this game, this is probably the worst shape your edge rushers have been in 4 years. They're not very good out there. I think Zadarius Smith got handled last week. I think he got handled. And now that you lose Nolan Smith, there's no doubt, in my opinion, that you're going to be hampered at that side over there. Okay? Yeah, well, he got destroyed last week. What do you mean overlooking him? He's only been here 14 days. I think the mismatch, once again, good question. She says, how do the Tampa fans feel going into this game? Nervous because of the injuries. You lose Cansey. By the way, so wait. M. Reyes is saying that he'll take Zadarius Smith versus Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs is the best offensive tackle in football. Once again, M. Reyes shows you what he knows about the game. 0. I mean, Wirfs the best offensive tackle in football. The best OT in football. And nobody would deny that. This is no question. Losing Cansey is a big deal. Yes, it is. Yes, it is on that side of the ball. Absolutely true. However, I really don't think you're playing all that hot inside interior-wise anyway. I don't. CK40, interesting. By the way, Philly Godfather's going to join us. Zadarius Smith said himself yesterday that he only knows the packages he was going to be in on and has to go home and learn more of the playbook. That's another factor. Wirfs is the best offensive tackle in football. Absolutely true. Yeah, Wirfs 1, Lane 2. Only reason Lane's not 1, by the way, that's still close, is because Lane's on the back 9. It's the only reason. Lane has been, and by the way, Lane's going to the Hall of Fame. This is true. He's right. He's right. But their defensive line, I'm concerned about their line. And I would say this, I'm concerned about your edges. Okay? He's a veteran, maybe. Still said one thing I liked. He was asked, does he feel pressured to take one more responsibility? He says his answer was yes. I was born for this. I do dig that. I do. I like that. Campbell's reacting too slow. Is reacting too slow. He's not playing downhill. He's better in pass coverage right now than he is playing the run. I'll tell you this, man. If Nakobe Dean were to come back, I might start Dean over Campbell. Now, he's been out a lot this year. He has. So probably not. Sills, if you could have one quarterback for the next half of a decade, Mayfield or Goff? You know why I would pick Mayfield? Because Mayfield has wheels and can run. And he would be able to use his ability to get out of trouble because of his legs. Goff is a stationary quarterback. Goff's a better pocket passer. Goff's a better pocket passer than Hurts by far. But Jalen has more tools in the tool chest. Like, if Jalen's not passing the ball well, he'll just take off. Goff can't do that. It's an added advantage. Hey, I may not be the best passer on the planet. Okay, well, then I'll get out in the perimeter and I'll still make plays and I'll move the sticks. It's going to take, you're right. It will. It will. Yeah, I agree with you. Goff is one of the best pocket passers in the NFL, by far. No question. He's got to have a great team around him. The league has changed. You got to be more mobile in today's NFL. Dude, you know who's playing the best football right now of any quarterback in the NFL? Do you know who is? It's Justin Herbert. Herbert's playing the best football of any quarterback. He's playing exceptional football. This goes down to what we talked about earlier with Xander. Dude, look at the coaching he's getting. Look at the coaching he's getting. I don't think Josh Allen's playing better than him. I don't think Danny Dimes. I think Danny Dimes is playing exceptional ball too, but I think Justin Herbert is playing better football. Let me take a look at the numbers here. Let me go over here with these numbers here. Let me take a look at this. Let me go down here and take a look at this here. This is insane. Well, he's played one more game. Holy cow. Sam Darnold's got 900 yards already in 4 games. Justin Herbert has played one less game, and he's got 860. Dude, this is incredible. Justin Herbert, look at this. 66-7. He's already attempted 108 passes and got 72 completions. And he's got 6 TDs and 1 pick. One thing you've got to look at and keep looking at here is the fact that he's been sacked 10 times. That's the offensive line. They lost that tackle. Now, let me come down here to Jalen Hurts. Let me see how many sacks Jalen's taken. Here's Hurts. How many sacks has Jalen taken? Hurts has taken 7 sacks. In how many attempts? Hurts has taken, in 77 attempts, he's taken 7 sacks. In 120, get this, in 126 attempts, Dak Prescott has taken 5 sacks. Josh Allen, in 104 attempts, has taken 3 sacks. Daniel Jones, in 90 snaps, has taken 2 sacks. Hurts with the least amount of anybody on this list. Of all the starting quarterbacks in the league, let me see where Jalen ranks in attempts. This is volume. Hurts is 28th in attempts. There's only 2 guys in the 70s, Love and Hurts. The rest of them are in the 90s and 100s. So far in 3 games and attempts. 3, 6, 9. That's 30 passing attempts. Hurts is down at 70. Low volume. So when you guys say this, that you think they're going to do something different in this game on Sunday, why? They're not going to do anything different. They're going to throw the football 20 times. 24 times in this game, unless they're behind. In my opinion, the only way they're going to do this is if, again, they throw the football because they're behind like they were last week. 1 every 11 passes is not good. Landon's got 3 on him so far, which is insane. Seals, what scares me is Bowles versus Bobo Patullo. Agreed. Seals, where is Texas boy? I think after Chicago took care of him, I think that was the end of Texas boy, don't you think? Chicago put up like 500 yards on him, and I think that was the end of that guy. I disagree. I see the offense being more balanced against Tampa. Why? What gave you that? Why would they be more balanced against Tampa? Why? They're 19-1 the way they were winning. They pulled it out when they had to. They threw when they were in desperation. It wasn't even part of your game plan. Now you're going to change with the 30th ranked offensive coordinator in football? Dude, you're making Kevin Patullo sound like he's a good coordinator. I don't even know if he is yet. I have nothing to gauge it by. They're going to trust the passing game more. No, they're not. No, they're not. Do you think Hurts does the same, or does he deviate from the norm? I think in the second half. Okay? What were the Bears thinking? Alex over JD5. Right. See here. This week will be Pittsburgh's game last year. Okay. Vita Vea torches us every time we play. He is one of the best run stoppers in all of the National Football League. They're sixth right now in run defense, by the way. Just so you know, they're sixth. What a great slate of games, especially collegiately as well. This week will be Pittsburgh's game last year. Oh, where he throws the ball? Maybe. All right. So we just had Mike North on. By the way, Mike North loves the Philly Godfather here. How you doing? Look at us here, man. Here's my man. So I got to tell you, we're going to bring on a pacifist now. Because from what I understand, he goes up to Harvard now, and he goes over to Villanova now, and he's like talking at all these guys. And here's a guy that was in the can in Yuma, Arizona. He was eating, you know what he was doing? He was eating grilled cheeses off of a rat, as my friends in the Paisan world would say. He's eating a cheese sandwich off a radiator. Those are some of the people me and him know. Hey, I ate a grilled cheese off a radiator. Without further ado, our friend, the legendary Philly Godfather, Jordan. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Dan? How you doing, man? Yo, cuz, we talking to the university.
Hey, that's right, dude. Miami's off this week, but next week we got Florida State.
Big game.
So I'm looking forward to that there. And by the way, Florida State plays tonight, so I'll ask you about that here in a minute, but I got to get your takeaway, bro. What do you make of this Buccaneers and Eagle game? I found out some stuff that Tristan Wirfs is going to play. You know, right now they listed it as game time decision. I had a conversation with Todd Bowles last night, and it looks like that also Chris Godwin's going to play, but I don't know what that means. He's been out training camp, OTAs, but now you get to put two other guys back in their normal positions in that offensive line. That's probably going to make a difference. Supposedly it's got a 55% chance of rain, which means it's going to be a hot, muggy day down there in Tampa at 105. How do you see this thing playing out?
Yeah, the Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. Both teams are banged up. Tampa Bay's more banged up than the Eagles. They always give us problems. It's the last team to beat Jalen Hurts. I think Hurts is 19-0. Eagles are 19-1 since they lost to Tampa Bay last year. I think it was week 4. So this team's always giving us headaches. The line's right there. It's right on the number, 3.5. But the Eagles are, they're banged up, but they're a lot healthier than Tampa Bay. They have a plus 12 health score higher than Tampa Bay. Man, it's just tough because Baker always gives us a hard time. It's hard running on that Tampa Bay defense.
They're sixth in run defense right now.
I know they're strong, man. They're really strong. But I think the Eagles have faced the tougher opponents so far in 2025.
Yeah.
You look at the Buccaneers; they squeaked out wins against the Falcons. That's a team that was supposed to win 7 games this season. A Jets team that was supposed to win maybe 6.5 games, and they beat the Texans. But who thought the Texans would be 0-3 to start the season? So the Eagles have faced the better opponents. It's on the road. Tampa Bay always gives us a headache. At plus 3.5, I guess you would have to lean Tampa Bay, but I'm not looking to run the bet because they're really, really banged up. And even the guys that are coming back, are they going to be 100%? I'm not
That's
sure.
Right.
Yeah, so it kind of scares me to take the Buccaneers here at plus 3.5. If the line keeps dropping to 3, maybe 2.5, I might look to take the Eagles. But as of right now, it's a no bet for me. I do like Saquon Barkley to have an anytime touchdown and Bucky Irving to have an anytime touchdown as well. But other than that, I haven't really bet the game yet.
I got 28-26 Philly.
It's close. It's going to be close.
I think it's going to be something like that. So if it's me, I think you take the points and the Buccaneers in this game. But I mean, I think it's going to be right around that number 2 or 3. I mean, 3.5. I think this game's going to be really close. I really do. I mean, this is not going to be like a 31-17 type of ball game. I don't believe.
Yeah, the only thing I want to tell you is the line opened up at 46.5 in total.
Oh, wow.
It's dropped down 2 points to 44.5. So there's some sharp money that bet the under. I guess maybe because of weather, maybe because how well Tampa Bay has played us. Their defense has shut us down.
4-1. First 4-1 in the Nick Sirianni era.
Yeah, so I think the team that has the ball last probably wins the game.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what about Mayfield versus Hurts? I mean, how do you see Mayfield in this ball game? Over under 180 yards, you think, for Mayfield passing the ball?
Man, he always beats us, right?
Yeah.
Defense a little
No,
better.
they don't have Mike Evans.
Yeah. Godwin's back, but how good is he going to be?
Godwin's back. That kid, Amika Buka, has been great. Sterling Shepard has actually been pretty decent for them this year.
180 passing yards. I guess I would lean over. I'm not looking to run to bet it, but I guess I would lean over on that.
I'll ask you the same question on Hurts. Do you think they deviate off of what made them 19-1? Do you think some of the things they did in the second half against the Rams, you think they apply that in this game, or do you think they still stick to their guns and run the ball and want to establish the run at Barkley immediately?
I think they try to run the ball, play conservative football. That's what wins games in the NFL. And then if that ain't working, you got to throw it out the window. You just got to let Jalen Hurts, let it rip. He's got, so many weapons on offense, and you saw that in the second half of last week's football game. But what wins games is, Jalen Hurts throws for 16 for 20 or 21 with 190 passing yards, no turnovers, no interceptions, and that's what wins games in the NFL. So I think they go back to, to the formula that they've had since week 4 of last season, which, took them to the Super Bowl, and eventually, they spanked the Kansas City Chiefs.
So let's get into the NFL. I love doing this with you each and every single week. By the way, guys, please hit the like button here. Hey, last night, Seattle, you know what's funny about Seattle? You kind of go to sleep on them. And John Schneider, their GM, look at what he's done with the 2 reclamation products. Geno Smith and now Sam Darnold. I mean, I had a double check again. That's Sam Darnold. Do you want to hear something crazy about him? I get the nuclear meltdowns at the end of the year. But this guy right now is 17-4 in 2 years. I mean, he's 17-4.
Yeah, you can't argue with that. I mean, the kid's playing lights out, and the whole thing on him is if you get pressure, he folds like a cheap suit. But if you can keep him upright and you can keep that offensive line protecting him, he can pick you apart. And you've seen it over the past, year and a half.
Who do you have more faith in? I thought the Cardinals didn't play all that bad. The Cardinals now fall 2-2 on the season. You think the Cardinals in Seattle are going to be right there at the end for potentially making the playoffs?
Probably borderline playoff teams, one or the other. I think Seattle's slightly better. Kyler Murray, he's got a ton of talent. I don't know if he's the brightest dude in the world. He loves playing that Call of Duty stuff. It doesn't spend enough time in the film room, so that probably hurts him. Marvin Harrison might be a little nicked up, or maybe they're just not on the same page. There might be some internal stuff going on there. I know Marv's dad had a property next to mine for years. I'm not saying that's what's going on, but very well could be, because he's such an amazing talent. And for them to be so off with each other, even though he did catch a passing touchdown last night, that's something's wrong there. But they're both borderline playoff teams come down the stretch, end of the season. I still think the Rams and 49ers are better than those teams.
Let's get into Sunday's game. Minnesota with Carson Wentz, who, by the way, did not look bad last week, is going to Pittsburgh, and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, they rebounded a week ago here. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is in Dublin, Ireland, this game. So Aaron Rodgers already bitching about the travel, having to go over there. I mean, how do you see this ball game?
Yeah, the Steelers originally opened up as favorites, and now the line's flipped. Minnesota's favored by 2.5 points.
Wow.
Early action, right around 55% of the tickets are on Pittsburgh. That's not too bad. Health-wise, Pittsburgh's the healthier team overall, but their pass defense is a big concern. They're really banged up. They're the 3rd most banged-up team, I think, in the NFL heading into Sunday. Their pass defense behind the Jets and the Cowboys. So, Minnesota should have some success passing the ball. Carson Wentz should put up some numbers against this Steelers defense that's banged up. I don't know. The market's moved toward the Vikings here. Big move, about 2.5 points. But if the line gets to 3, I'll probably look to target Pittsburgh here. They got the league's best turnover differential. I trust Aaron Rodgers more than I trust Wentz. I kind of like Pittsburgh here if it gets to 3. And Minnesota, I know they're 2-1, but they've been a little fortunate. Bears kind of gave them that game. They gifted them that first win. Then they got blown out against the
Seattle.
Falcons. They lost to the Falcons.
Oh,
right?
Falcons. That's right.
Yeah, they lost to the Falcons team, and I think Atlanta was only projected to win 7 or 8 games on the year. And then they blew out the Bengals, but Bengals had 5 turnovers in that game. Jake Browning threw for 2 interceptions, so that doesn't mean a lot to me. That win really wasn't a clean victory. When a team turns the ball over 5 times and you blow them out, that really means nothing. I think Pittsburgh is stronger overall. I think Rodgers is going to be the toughest quarterback they've faced so far this season. I kind of like Pittsburgh +3.
Looks like this is a backup bowl game here with Washington and Atlanta here. I mean, I'm not sure that Michael Penix is going. I know that JD's been ruled out, Jaden Daniels, so you're going to get Marcus Mariota. By the way, they ran the hell out of the ball last week, and they were able to get a victory, and they were able to get a convincing victory. Atlanta just seems like they're starting to fall apart, and I think my friend Raheem Morris is in trouble there, the head coach of the Falcons. Does Washington go in there, or do you like Atlanta in here as the battle of the backup guys?
I mean, there's no Jaden Daniels. I don't think McLaurin is playing either, right?
He's not playing either, no.
Yeah. I guess the Falcons will probably win this game, but I'm not rushing to bet them, especially after they just got blown out, didn't they, to the Panthers?
Yep.
30-0. I mean, how do you lose 30 to the Panthers? Yeah. And guess what? Mariota didn't look that bad against the Raiders. I mean, they still managed to put up 400 total yards last week without Daniels. At full strength, I don't think the Falcons are much better than the Raiders. So I didn't bet the side here. It just, for the Commanders to have Daniels out, McLaurin out, they're game changers. But I kind of like the over a little bit. I mean, both teams' pass defenses, they're really banged up. Washington actually has the lowest health score of any NFL team this week when it comes to pass defense. And I think they put up some points. I like the over 43. I didn't bet the side, but gun to my head with the players out for Washington, I guess the Falcons win the game.
I'm not going to ask you who wins this one. I'm going to ask you if the Buffalo Bills cover against the Saints. You think they make the cover on the Saints?
It's a lot of points, man. It's up to 16.
16.
That's a lot of points.
Do you know how many times that number has it's like, I heard something like 10 times since the Super Bowl era where you've had a team favored by 16 or more points.
That's a lot of points, especially
That's a ton of points.
Yeah, and as much as I love the Buffalo Bills, and I'm bullish on them, I took them to win the AFC East -240. I took them to win the Super Bowl at 7-1. I think they win the AFC Conference, but that's a massive number. If the line gets to 17 or 17.5, I might look to take the Saints here. Last time I checked, I think 90% of the action is on Buffalo, so the entire world's Buffalo. Like they got, the next day's newspaper, they're probably already spending that money. And even though the Saints started off 0-3, I think they lost to the Cardinals, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. I think they can stay within that 17-point range. I mean, it's a ton of points. Buffalo's pass defense is banged up. Kind of opens the back door a little bit late. I think the Saints could sneak in and maybe cover that number, as long as they don't get killed on the turnover differential. I guess 17 is a lot of points. Man.
It is, man. How about this one here? Cleveland last week ended up putting it 2 on a field goal late and beating the Packers here. They go into Detroit, who looked like a juggernaut this past Monday. I mean, holy cow. I mean, that team, they took apart the Ravens. I mean, they had over 400 and some odd yards in total offense. And what was really great about that game was they ran the ball for like 223 in that football game. So, yeah. I mean, Cleveland's got a good defense, man. Myles Garrett's on that side of the football. They can play some ball there. I mean,
yeah.
Is this a sneaky game, or do you think again this is Detroit winning at home in Motown?
I mean, the line's 9.5 and 10. The totals are 4. And I kind of feel like you missed the boat if you didn't bet the Browns last week. I mean, this isn't the week to jump in.
No,
they're on the road in Detroit. They're on that fast track in the Dome. The Lions' offense is starting to click. After they put up 13 points against the Packers in week 1, they've scored over 90 points in the last 2 weeks. So this is the wrong time to catch this team as they're starting to gel. 10 points is a big number in the NFL, but I expect Cleveland to be playing from behind the whole game, and to me that means more pass attempts by Flacco, more chances of him throwing interceptions, and if he throws a couple interceptions, Detroit might blow this team out.
Does New England cover against Carolina in this game. It's in New England. It's in Foxborough.
I mean, the Panthers just beat the Falcons 30-0, but oddly enough, if you look at the box score, Falcons had more first downs and more total yards. So that I don't know how they won 30-0, but they did it. Carolina, they're not a team I'm looking to invest in. They're so inconsistent. Their offensive line is weak, and I think they're going to struggle against the Patriots' defensive line. I think they rank in like the top 10 for pass rush and run stop win rate. So you're playing against one of the better defensive lines in the NFL on the road. I think on the road, the Panthers over the last 2 years are just 2-8 straight up. The Lions Patriots -5.5. I don't think it's high enough. Anything under 7, I'm looking to bet the Patriots here.
I think you know what, and I say this to people, and they kind of laugh. I think the Chargers might be the best team in football, and they're going into New York, the Giants, and they're starting Jackson Dart in there, and you got Jim Harbaugh going into New York. In my opinion, boy, I really like this Charger team, man. I picked them at the beginning of the year to win the West.
Yeah.
I think they're going to they have a great shot to get to the AFC Championship game, in my opinion. That's how good I think they are. Who's playing better football at quarterback right now than Justin Herbert? He is just looking sensational. So do you like them to go in and take care of business, cover the spread?
Line's 6.5, total's 43.5, and I'm with you. I love the Chargers this year. They were my pick to win the AFC West. I got 3,000 on them to win the Super Bowl, 30-1 and 25-1. So that payout would be 80,000 if they win the Super Bowl. If they get there, I can always hedge that ticket for some free money. So I'm big on the Giants. But with that said, I'm kind of leaning the Giants here if the line hits 7. As of right now, 85% of the tickets placed offshore and in Las Vegas are on the Chargers, and I never want to be on the public side. It's a cross-country game for LA, coming off a tough division win against the Broncos. So that's always a little tough. You got an unknown commodity with Jackson Dart, who looks pretty sharp for the Giants. So he could go in there and, surprise some people. I think the Giants' defensive line is just as good or stronger, if not stronger, than Denver's. And they gave the Chargers some headaches last week. New York can run the ball effectively. As long as Dart doesn't go in there and, lay an egg and throw a bunch of interceptions, Giants +7 might be the right side, man, especially with the 90% of the action is all on the Chargers here. Giants might cover the spread.
I'll tell you, this is a game that if you told me at the beginning of the year was going to be something to keep an eye on here. So Daniel Jones and his 3-0 Colts roll into a 3-0 Los Angeles Rams, or 2-1, I believe.
It should have been 3-0.
Yeah, 2-1 Los Angeles Rams. Boy, Dimes Jones is playing his ass off right now. I mean, are the Colts 3-0?
Yeah, they're 3-0. Yeah.
They're 3-0 going in. He's played some great football. I mean, one of the highest rated quarterbacks going into this weekend. I mean, what do you see here, man? I mean, the Rams coming off a very tough loss against the Eagles. I think the game was taken from Philly. A little too conservative with McVay late in the game with some of those play calls. How do you see this thing working out here? I think it's at SoFi, right?
Yeah, the Rams are 3.5 and 49.5. To me, it's a tough game to handicap, especially after losing the Eagles the way the Rams did. But I kind of expect them to come out with a chip on their shoulder. You lose a game like that, you got to come out the following week on fire.
Yep.
So I think they're going to start off fast. The Colts, on the other hand, they've outperformed the market 3 weeks in a row. They smoked some bad teams. They beat a pretty good Broncos team. I haven't bet the game yet because the price is 3.5. And anytime it goes over that key number of 3, I'm not looking to bet the favorite. We're going to find out if the Colts are for real this week. We talked about before the season started that we expected Danny Dimes to have a good year. He came from those Giants team who had the worst offensive lines in football, and now he went to a pretty good, very well coached Colts team that's top 5 with their offensive lines. So, we expected him to have a good year. His odds for comeback player of the year went from 20-1 to 15-1, and now he's down to 3-1. The only guy ahead of him is McCaffrey. So, he's playing good football. We're going to find out this week how good this Colts team at 3.5. I'm not looking to bet the favorite, but I think the Rams come out this week on fire. So I'm staying off this game.
How about Jacksonville going to San Francisco here? I mean, boy, I'll tell you, the Jags defense looks awful good this year. I mean, they've really turned the corner. Liam Cohn, the brand new head football coach, has got, Trevor Lawrence playing some pretty good football. I mean, Then you got, what is it? You've got Nick Bosa out. You've got Kittle out. Purdy's not playing in this game. How about the Jags to go to 3-1 on the season? Do you think they go into San Francisco, Santa Clara, and win this game?
I mean, as long as Trevor doesn't get any brain cramps and throw a bunch of interceptions. I think they can win the game outright, tell you the truth. You don't even need the points here. They're getting 3.5 points. I think at this point in the season, with all the injuries on San Fran and the way the Jags have looked, I think they can win the game outright on the road. Their health score is 12 points higher than San Francisco's, which is huge heading into Sunday. I think Trevor Lawrence has a big day against the 49ers pass defense that's limping in this matchup. If you want to bet it, over his passing yards, Jags plus 3.5 and on the money line. I already bet it. The total moved from 43.5 up to 47.5, but I still like the under. Even I know Purdy's playing, but I still think this.
Oh, Purdy is playing.
Yeah. So I still think this game goes under. I mean. I don't know how much of an upgrade that is. Mac Jones went in there and threw for 560 yards in 2 weeks.
He did.
I think it's the system that makes these quarterbacks look good more than anything. Both defenses currently rank inside the top 10 in opponent yards per play. So I like the Jags here, and I like the under 47.5.
So Kansas City, they bounced back last week, and now Baltimore heads in. Baltimore's 1-2. Heading into this football game, and you got Kansas City. It's at Arrowhead. What a big game early on in the season here for these two teams that have struggled in the month of September. I mean, who comes out of this one here? Because this could set the tone the rest of the season for these two teams.
Yeah, and even though both teams are 1-2, and nobody expected either team to start off that way, and both teams have struggled, but it seems like the Chiefs have struggled a lot more than the Ravens have. Like the Ravens have shown that they can score. They lost a close game to Buffalo.
Plus that schedule, right, that they've played. They've got Detroit. They played Detroit. They got Buffalo in the opener. They played some teams, right?
So, I mean, it's never easy going into Kansas City and beating the Chiefs at home with Mahomes under center. Kansas City's defense looks to be stronger than Baltimore's. I mean, they've only given up, 56 points on the year. I think the Ravens gave up 100 points already on defense. So these teams are like polar opposites. The Chiefs have a really good defense, and the Ravens' offense is so much better than Kansas City's. It's hard to pick a side, but if I had to lean a certain way, just from the eye test, I think the Ravens are the better team. So maybe like Ravens money line. They still got the second best chance to win the Super Bowl, surprisingly, even though they started 1-2 at plus 600. The only team ahead of them is Buffalo. So the bookmakers still believe in this Ravens team. Kansas City, on the other hand, their odds dropped down to 14-1, and they had at one point the second best odds to win the Super Bowl. So, I guess the Ravens money line is the right side here.
Chicago, did you come out of that game against the Cowboys? Were you thinking that Chicago may be starting to turn it around? I mean, a lot of people, including me, I thought they were going to be one of the surprise teams. They go into Las Vegas, and Pete Carroll's guys, Chicago get 2 in a row here?
It's going to be tough, man. The line's 1.5 for 47. At full strength, I think the Bears are the better team, but it's tough to back them. I mean, they're on the road. They're banged up. Their pass defense is really, really banged up. What I like better than betting the side here is going over 47. The Raiders' defense has allowed, I think, over 1,000 total yards of offense, while the Bears' defense has given up an average of like 33 points a game. I think the over 47 is going to, cash. Maybe the best angle to bet this is take the Bears in a teaser, like at plus 8.5, and go over 40. So that's probably the best way to bet it if you're looking to take the side as well.
So there's going to be no Micah Parsons celebrations in Dallas, from what I'm hearing, for the Green Bay Packers star now. Supposedly he was looking for some sort of like parade for him going back to Dallas, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Packers go into Dallas and take care of business. You think they wax this team?
Line's 6.5. And after the way they lost last week, I think they might.
Browns.
Yeah, I mean, they were up with 3 minutes left, 10-0, and then it was one of the craziest finishes I've ever seen. It kind of killed everyone's survivor, whoever took them in the survivor contest. But
wait, real quick before you answer. When somebody like Jordan Davis picks up a ball and the game is on the line like that with points like that and how close that was, How much does that kill the house when a guy picks it up and takes it back the other way?
What, the Eagles game?
Yeah, the Eagles game.
Oh my God, there was so much money, hundreds of millions of dollars was lost on that. You know, the line was 3.5. So anyone that had the Rams, I had the Rams plus 4.5 and plus 3.5. So you know, you're thinking.
So when you saw him scoop that, you all went, "Oh my God!"
I didn't know he was that fast,
dude. 18 miles per hour. I know.
Jeez, chasing you down an alleyway, you're not getting away. But yeah,
no, I thought that was crazy. So a lot of money's lost on that, on a play like that, right?
Yeah, especially, I mean, the guys that had the Rams were thinking, okay, well, if they lose the game, we won our bet, or they win the game, and instead of flipped on them and he ran them down and they didn't even cover the spread. But yeah, that was one of the craziest finishes I've seen in a while. It was a winning Sunday last week. Yeah, it was a crazy Sunday.
How about finish? Okay, what do you say? Green Bay, Dallas. What do you think?
I mean, the Packers are the healthier team. Both teams are dealing with injuries on their offensive line. Cowboys' pass defense stinks. Might be the worst in the NFL. And they've got injuries with their pass defense, so it makes them even worse. I guess Green Bay had anything under a touchdown. Last week's loss to the Browns, they kind of made people forget that the Packers smoked the Lions and the Redskins first 2 weeks of the season. So I think Jordan Love comes back. He has a big bounce back game. I went over 230 passing yards for him. I think Packers minus 6.5 is the right side.
All right, this is the sorriest ass game I've ever seen. It's Jets in Miami on Monday night. They got another doubleheader that's really like two games that are awful. But how about this? I don't know why I feel good about the Jets going into Miami and winning. I just think that the Miami Dolphins, I don't know. Tua, you know what, dude? Watch this. Tua will throw for 390 yards in this game and 4 touchdowns, and you'll be like, holy shit. Yeah. So I don't know. It's in Florida. I'm going to switch it up. I'll go Miami here, I guess.
Well, the line's 2.5, so they got to win by 2.5. You still like them?
Yeah.
They got a shot. I mean, the Jets have moved the ball really well offensively.
They have.
Yeah, Miami hasn't. At 2.5, I'm not looking to bet either side. The total's at, I think, 44.5 or 45. I think the game goes over. I think both offenses come to play, but I haven't bet the game yet. But, I don't know, 2.5, Miami. The Jets have actually looked better. I like the over more than anything, over 45 points.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to bore us with Bengals and Broncos. That's not going to happen here. I do want to get some college. You know what? There's some great national games this weekend. Real quick, FSU, Virginia. That's going to set up Miami and Florida State next week. Game day's going to Tallahassee and going to Doak. So that's going to be old school Florida State, Miami. I said this morning in this today in the afternoon show, I went, FSU, don't you dare lose, because I want you to be undefeated going into this game next week against the Hurricanes, where it's old school FSU, Miami. You think they covered this game against Virginia? Virginia always plays them hard. They're a tough team to play.
Yeah, there's some sharp money on Virginia +7.
Yeah.
Lines down to
7.
Yeah, I mean, the kids look good. Chandler Morris, he's thrown for over 1,000 yards, I think. I think he's got like an 8-to-1 touchdown interception ratio on the season. But, I mean, who have they played? Those numbers have been against subpar defenses that ranked outside the top 90 in opponent yards per pass attempt. So he's looked good against some pretty bad defenses. Now he's playing a Florida State team that's for real. If Virginia's defensive line can't slow them down running the ball, it's going to be a long day for the Cavaliers. I think Florida State's averaging like 7.1 yards per rush attempt. They ran for, 230 against Alabama's defense, and I don't think Virginia's defense is as good as Alabama's. So if they can't slow them down on the ground, I'm not looking to take Virginia here. I think they allowed 215 or 220 yards rushing to NC State, and Florida State is one of the best rushing teams in the country. So if Florida State establishes that run, they don't turn the ball over, and that kid for Virginia throws an interception or two, it could be a long day for Virginia. I haven't bet the game. I'm leaning Florida State -6 if it gets there. It is a sandwich spot, like you said, so they might take their foot off the pedal late, but I think Florida State is just so much better than this Virginia.
Well, you know what the Kane guys are calling Florida State this year?
What's that?
The 2-10 guys.
2-10.
Because a year ago they were 2-10. Yeah. So we're calling them the 2-10 dudes. Yeah. So last one here. Notre Dame takes care of business going into Fayetteville, right? Takes care of Arkansas.
I don't know, man. There's some sharp money on
Hey,
Arkansas.
dude, I think Arkansas beats them.
The line opened up 6.5. It's down to 4. 2.5 point move already.
Keep an eye on that. I'm telling you, I think Arkansas beats them.
I don't know if they beat them, but they can hang around. I mean, they played Mississippi tough. They fought tooth and nail. They lost to Memphis, but they put up 500 yards of total offense in that game. The turnovers killed them. I think they had like 3 or 4 turnovers against Memphis, or else they would have won that game. And then who did Notre Dame lose to? They lost to Miami.
Lost to Miami, and they lost to A&M.
So they lost 2 close games against 2 really good teams.
Absolutely.
Arkansas at home, it's tough to play. I guess I kind of like Arkansas plus 4.5, I guess.
Tell the folks where they can find you, my good friend.
You can follow me on X at Philly Godfather. The website is thephillygodfather.com. And if you want to pick up a copy of the How to Sell and Book of 2025, go to phillybooked.com or go to Amazon.
My friend, we will catch you next week. Thank you so much, my friend.
Good luck, guys.
You got it. That is the legendary Philly Godfather. Let me pay some bills here. Our good friends at Morgan & Morgan, the #1 injury law firm in all of America for a reason. You know why? They win cases. Thousands of attorneys from coast to coast make sure that they defend you and your family like no other company when it comes to having claims set against you. Now, listen, I showed you this one where $650,000 was initially offered to a Pennsylvania family here. They ended up getting $30 million because that insurance company came up with a $650,000 claim. They got $30 million. Another one down in Florida, $350,000. An insurance company came in with a claim. Morgan & Morgan got them $12 million. This is be the easiest decision you ever make. Do me a favor. Go to forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529. That's forthepeople.com/big sales or pound law 529 to do me a favor. You tell them Big Sales sent you.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Ignite your nights with free live entertainment daily, only at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia's Center Bar. 7 days a week, enjoy some of the region's top party bands, performers, and DJs as they take the stage in the heart of the casino action. Great cocktails, live music, and lively moments. It's all happening at Center Bar at Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia. Visit livecasinophilly.com for more details and the complete list of upcoming events. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is Eric. When he got injured in a car accident, he called Morgan & Morgan. He not only gets a lawyer, he gets trial lawyers like Sam and Jessica who are in it to win it. He gets his own investigators with briefcases, leather ones. And if you ever have questions, our customer service folks keep things rolling. Injured? We're your army. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
Welcome to the Jet Setters and the High Rollers, to the Shot Takers and the Tastemakers. Welcome to the Viewfinders, the Thrill Seekers, and the Night Owls. Welcome to everything you could possibly want on one 5-mile island. Welcome to the Wildwoods. Book your stay today.
In our hometown, we all look out for each other. We go the extra mile to lend a helping hand. We step up to keep our communities going strong. And at Independence Blue Cross, we're here to keep you going strong. We've been deeply rooted in our communities for more than 85 years. And that connection to members has earned us our spot as the #1 health insurer in the region. So while you look out for your neighbors, know IBX is always looking out for you.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
EAGLES. Eagles.
(28-26) Eagles over the Buccaneers. 28-26. I think this is going to be a great football game. I think it's going to be a close football game. And I think there's going to be a lot of drama in this football game. Guys, M. Reyes, I see it. Got you, brother. See you guys on the pre- and post-game show on Sunday. What a great game. And then on Monday, by the way, 2 to 6. Have a great football weekend. We will see you on the pregame show. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Xander. And we'll see you on the flip side.